Every country has its sacred institutions. France has cathedrals. Brazil has Carnival. America has guns and healthcare GoFundMes. And Canada has Tim Hortons. The first place any new arrival of Canada wants to go, they're like, hey, I gotta check out Tim Hortons. And then you gotta gently be like, actually, I'm so sorry, Tim Hortons kind of sucks now. The donuts are mid and the coffee is like burnt bean water. Can I interest you in Boston pizza instead? And then they're like, Boston pizza, isn't that American? And then you're like, you have to explain, actually, no, it's Canadian, and so is Montana's barbecue, and New York Fries actually sells poutine. And I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so Tim Hortons has gone from beloved to almost universally loathed, a place you'd only stoop to going on a road trip or before an early shift. Hello, internet people. This is my first ever attempt at a late night live show situation, which we don't really have here in Canada, so I figured I better do it. If you like this, please subscribe and let me know. I will keep making them if people like them. And I will also buy some set dressing so it doesn't look like I'm filming it in a weird liminal space office backroom situation. Now, back to the show, like and subscribe. And like, of course it's a Canadian icon. It was started by a literal maple leaf. No, I mean the hockey kind, who ran it until his untimely passing, after which they changed the name from Tim Hortons, with an apostrophe, to Tim Hortons. That's right, it's plural! It's been plural your whole life, probably. But I feel like the plural of Tim Hortons should be like Tim's Horton. Like, like Surgeons General. Like, do you get it, Surgeons General? Do you get it? Mothers-in-law? Anyway. Now, with the extremely confusing return of the elbows up Canadian patriotism and the Buy Canadian movement, it's worth asking, how did this iconic company come to suck such absolute shit?
The coffee is burnt, bitter, or watered down. The sandwiches are stale, the bacon rock hard, and the donuts are pre-frozen, chemical and preservative-laden slop, hardly fit for a prison tray.
As far as Canada's most admired brand, falling to the 50th position, a drop from just number 4 last year.
Extra large, dark roast, double, espresso.
Got too much espresso.
Welcome to the pilot episode of The Punch Up. Yeah. I really was going to replace that too. Welcome to the pilot episode of The Punch Up. I'm Hazel, and later we'll be joined by the new leader of the BC Greens, Emily Lowen. But first, Tim Hortons. Despite their attempts at recapturing the magic by bringing back the classic cups, it's not working. And now Canucks are even implying that the downfall of Tim Hortons is like the downfall of Canada. First, they came for my pretzel bagels, and I said nothing. But go online for long enough, and you'll see diatribes like this.
Tim Hortons is the best case study in how to ruin a brand. They had what was the easiest business model, selling Canadiana, nostalgia, simple food with old grandmas working behind the counter. You would walk in, they would greet you, they would know your name, they would know your order. You go to Tim Hortons now, and the staff don't want to be there. Behind the counter is dirty. They are rude, they are curt, they barely understand you, you barely understand them. It is a horrible experience, and the food makes you have instant lot of shits and diarrhea.
Instant lots of shits and diarrhea. Well, he is right. The food sucks, the coffee's worse, the prices aren't worth it anymore, and it usually is just one frazzled employee behind the counter trying to take drive-through orders and bag donuts and mop up a suspicious brown liquid off the floor that you really hope is chocolate, but you know it's not chocolate because they don't use real chocolate. This is a chocolate-like shell. It came like this, frozen from the factory, and it's not of God's creation. But that's not what that guy's talking about. Why don't we find someone less subtle?
Welcome to Tim Hortons. My name's Duncan. How can I take your order? Tim Hortons, what do you want?
Medium regular and...
Medium double, anything else?
Bro, chill and actually pay attention and listen to my order.
Racism, nice! Come on, you guys never had a donut so bad it turned you racist. And it's not like they deny this. Is it racist? Yes, but it's also the truth. And I miss the white days red heart emoji. And it's really the red heart emoji that's doing it for me. She seems really sweet. I bet she hand knits all the hoods for her local clan. So, according to the good citizens of the internet, it was the Tim's takeover by immigrants, specifically Indian immigrants. Tim Hortons.
More aptly named Sing Hortons.
Thank you, Rebel News. Hard-hitting journalism as always. Sing Hortons takeover that led to this catastrophe. And it's not that all these Canadian-born whites don't want the job. It's that Tim Hortons won't hire them. Just look at this very real human Canadian.
Tim Hortons just asked if I speak Punjabi. I'm whiter than their Boston cream. Can't believe I lost the job to someone who barely speaks English.
Don't people realize that that's obviously AI?
Some are so convincing that viewers comment as if Josh is a real person, arguing with him and giving him advice on his job hunt.
But whether it's AI or real, you see this kind of thing everywhere. If only Grandma Honky was back behind the counter, she'd remember your name and fresh bake your donuts and make your coffee, and she wouldn't even judge you for ordering an octuple. Then she'd kiss you. Then she'd kiss you on the forehead and tuck you into the bed of your lifted Ram 2500 Super Duty and give you a nice Boston cream ending. Some of you told me to cut that joke, and I didn't. Instead, the outrage is over. Tim Hortons is, that's right, it's plural possessive now. Use of temporary foreign workers, which is a big red flag. It was labeled by the UN as being contemporary slavery. And even though it's being overhauled now by the government, Tim's has absolutely been using and abusing this system. And it's not like some podcast bros would have you believe that Canada is subsidizing the wages of temporary foreign workers.
This message goes out to any Canadians that can't find a job right now, especially the younger groups. Immigrants are not taking your job. The hiring managers just don't want to hire you. Trust me, I used to think that too. Like, you hear it all the time, like, why are the Tim Hortons employees always Indian? And I was wondering that too until I actually asked the hiring managers. And you know what they told me? It's because those Indians are actually reliable. Those immigrants that came from another country are fighting for their lives every single day. These hiring managers know and understand that these people need a job. Like, they will be showing up every single time, because if they get fired, they're and what you kind of have to read between the lines, but they're fighting for their lives. If they don't show up, no matter the pay or treatment from Tim Hortons, they're fucked. So really, it's that these workers are easier to exploit. Here's an example. Over in Dawson Creek, 4 Tim's workers filed a human rights complaint against their boss, who also happened to be their landlord and loved to remind them constantly that he owned their lives, charged them double the rent of his other tenants, plus an additional $200 tip. Tip your landlords, everybody. Calling them dirty, lazy Mexicans, which was all detailed in a CBC article jauntily titled, Tim Hortons workers filed double rights complaint. Which goes crazy. Just a Tim bit of hate crimes. Just an ice-cap load of labor violations. I wonder why they didn't put these fantastic puns in their official Tim Hortons music. Did someone just say no? Correct. We put our faith in the donut hole is the line. The musical is called The Last Timbit, and I emailed everybody trying to watch the recording of it, but they didn't want to send it to me for some reason. Anyway, it's not just the temporary foreign workers that they're fucking over. Loads of employees allege never getting overtime pay or other types of wage theft, illegally avoid paying for training, and now you might say, well, that's the franchise's fault. Tim's is a franchise, remember? CEO Mr. Timothy's can't know what his franchises are doing, especially when he covers his ears and goes la 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 la. And well, if you don't like how one franchise is treating you, surely you can just pack up and work at another one. Except they made it so you totally can't. That's right, the no-hire clause prevents other Tim Hortons franchises from poaching or, employing workers that worked at another franchise. And you'd think, oh, non-compete clauses are all but illegal or unenforceable here in BC, so surely this wouldn't be allowed. And, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, actually, because they didn't intend to harm their workers, because, quote, the conspirators didn't injure the workers merely for the sake of injuring them. It's only crimes if you do it on purpose. And that's why I always say, whoops, before I steal a catalytic converter. Okay, so I wasn't so sure about this joke, and I was hoping maybe you can help me decide. So here's our options. Okay, it's only crimes if you do it on purpose. That's why I always say, whoops, before I steal a catalytic converter. Drive a Cybertruck into the ocean. Go to Epstein's Island. Topical. And steal a comedy format from John Oliver. Okay.
A few moments later.
Because it's only crimes if you do it on purpose. And that's why I always say, whoops, before I steal a comedy format from John Oliver. The fact is, if you watch John Oliver, that's a great impression. The fact is, franchises across the country rely on very vulnerable people to work for the least amount of money they can possibly pay them because that's the business model. So maybe the guy microwaving your sandwich was a little curt with you between making poverty wages, having half of them stolen by his boss/landlord, while calling him truly unimaginative racial slurs, getting filmed by TikTokers and alternative news sites, blaming him for the downfall of a Canadian institution. Maybe you can cut my man Gurwinder a little slack. He's doing his best. But I've given these guys a lot of flack, and really what they want is what's best for our great nation and all the people in it who look and sound exactly like them and share their exact political views. But I gotta hand it to them. They were right about one thing. Foreigners are ruining Tim Hortons. It's not the employees. It's Americans and Brazilians. American and Brazilian billionaires. Brazilianaires, if you will. And I will not. In 2014, Tim Hortons didn't just merge with Burger King. And also, side note, the news article about Burger King, Tim's merger, features this picture. So if you want to... And I just want to know if David Donnelly got stoned before he thought of this, or just before he ate it. It wasn't just a merger, it was a $12.5 billion tax inversion merger to become Restaurant Brands International, a fast food holding company financed by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway and orchestrated by the Brazilian-American private equity firm 3G Capital, which is called 3G Capital because Burger King, Tim Hortons, Firehouse Subs, Anheuser-Busch, Popeyes, Hunter Douglas, Kraft, Heinz, Skechers, Berkshire Hathaway was just a little too long. That's right, now Tim Hortons is just another subsidiary of the private equity company 3G, with a 2014 analysis finding that it has a 30-year history of aggressive cost cutting, which could hurt Tim Hortons employees, small business people, Canadian taxpayers, and consumers. And I, too, enjoy reading passages that sound like a desperate message from a time traveler. But maybe he could have, picked a better year for it. 3G's latest victim is Skechers. In just May of this year, in the biggest footwear buyout to date, their first act was plastering NYC subways with the most unsettling yet horny AI ads I've ever seen. And while I think that might be a great fanfic category, I'm thinking like creepypasta meets 50 Shades of Grey. Or maybe just 50 Shades of Grey, actually. Anyway, these are not great ads. I mean, I am glad that busty women with no hands are finally getting some representation. And look at these bitches, they're not even wearing the sneakers. I think that one's starting to evolve into a crab. It always comes back to the crab. In case you're not familiar with private equity, they are essentially what happens when a bunch of investors pool their money together to purchase a company so that they can take it over, make it more profitable, and reap the rewards. But how do they reap those rewards? Well, technically, the way they're explained a lot of the time is house flippers. They take struggling businesses, they make improvements to streamline and optimize them, and then they make a profit. But they have a tendency to acquire successful companies and use that to pay themselves by
Oh, just realized I've been muted this whole time. Guys, that was the intro video we just watched. Who Ruined Tim Hortons by Hazel Thayer. Definitely go check her channel out. I think she's big on TikTok or something, but she's started a YouTube channel. I've seen her do stuff that's more like video essay style, but that was actually kind of like a live show. It looked like it was interesting. Anyway, but good channel. Small channel could use the things. Yes, thank you, Owo. What's up, Hannah? Hiya. Hi, goblins. Thanks for tuning in. I've got some things planned for the chat. Not for the chat. I don't plan for the chat. You guys handle that. But I got some things planned for the stream. I'm a little bit. Wait, how can I get more in the middle here? Hang on. There's something. No, that's worse. Whatever. I want to go over two main things today. I want to go over some stuff, some interesting stuff on Nadia Marcinko, one of Jeffrey Epstein's, what do you call it? Assistants, co-conspirators, victims, all of the above. But I also wanted to go over some stuff on Bohemian Grove. I think I've mentioned before, my video after this one I'm finishing up right now is going to be on Bohemian Grove. So I got some research to do on that. But what do I want to start with? Let's start with the Nadia Marcinko stuff. So let's start with this. Boom. All right. Okay, check this out. This is a website. This is a website that you could go to. This is a website as it currently exists for a strange, confusing little company known as Aviloop. Oops. Aviloop maybe. And it's got a really fancy plane. Like that plane looks nice on the outside. Like you don't got to make that side of the plane look nice. Here to help your brand fly higher. So this is a service that is apparently offered to people who, aviation industry brands. Aviloop offers a wide range of services designed to accelerate the growth of brands in the aviation industry through targeted marketing and promotion. So their customers are like massively wealthy, massively wealthy. I guess airports or plane brands or something, whatever, something along this, aviation brands. So we've got, there's somebody there. Okay. It's like some things that they do. You can't click on any of these. Now, okay, we're going down here. Okay. Who we are. Let's find this out. Aviloop was founded by a female pilot, Nadia Marcinko. Her career evolved from marketing through high fashion modeling to aviation. When Nadia was ready for longer runways, get it? Because the modeling world also uses runways. She became an aerobatic pilot, licensed flight instructor, and airline transport pilot, rated on multiple Gulfstream and Boeing aircraft. Okay, Boeing and Gulfstream. During her career in aviation, Nadia developed a thorough understanding of the industry and its demands. Since 2011, she's been sharing her expertise through her consulting work at Aviloop. Okay, so we learned a couple things here. Company's been around since 2011, run by someone named Nadia Marcinko. And I guess this is her. She used to be a model, according to this. And her career seems to have gone from modeling to plane. Well, not so fast. There's actually more to Nadia Marcinko than just that. You see, Nadia Marcinko was also, this is an old Miami Herald article about Jeffrey Epstein. Yes. Okay, we're getting to that, Hannah. You're ahead of me on this one. Yes. This is something that I've kind of brought up a couple times on stream because it's so crazy, but I never have all the stuff at hand. So we're gonna get into it today. But Nadia Marcinko, or Nadia Marcinko, as she's also known. Let's see here. Now a professional pilot, worked for Jeffrey Epstein when he was molesting young women. Victims told police Marcinko would participate in sex acts as Epstein choreographed every move. Nadia Marcinko, after the scandal, which would, I guess, be around, 2008 or so, 2009. Both Nadia Marcinko and Sarah Kellen changed their names after the scandal. These are two of Epstein's assistants. Marcinko, 32, briefly became Marcinko. Interesting. Well, then maybe that's her here. Whoa. See, I'd heard of Nadia Marcinkova. Nadia Marcinko? I didn't know about that. I feel like they got to do more effort on this. You can't just be like, this is, oh, no one will know me if I change my name by just taking 2 letters at the end off. It's like, no, you have the same name. That's not really that hard to tell. It's like when a vampire is like, I am Alucard. It's like Dracula backwards. Except for this is even, it's like, oh no, I'm not Dracula, I'm Dracu. I'm Count Dracu from Transylvania. You know? Anyways. And so Nadia Marcinko learned to fly jets while she was with Jeffrey Epstein. These Gulfstream, Boeing, these are at least Gulfstream was the Lolita Express. It was a Gulfstream. Nadia Marcinko was also named in the Epstein. So what I'm looking at here is the non-prosecution agreement. This really weird thing from Epstein's trial where, like a lot of times they'll try to get like a, what's it called? Like a criminal or whatever in like a RICO case. Like if they're prosecuting like somebody from the mob, they'll be like, oh, as long as you give us information on somebody bigger or like these other guys in this network, we'll let you off easy, kind of thing. Like it's a deal that they make with prosecutors, right? Well, with this one, it was sort of the opposite of that. It was like, as long as you agree not to tell us anybody else, this is a non-prosecution agreement. We're not going to prosecute, then we'll go easy on you. But you got to agree you won't tell us anything. It's like, it's a little bit weird. So this is like an actual paragraph from the page 5 of the non-prosecution agreement. If Epstein successfully fulfills all the terms and conditions of this agreement, the United States also agrees that it will not institute any criminal charges against any potential co-conspirators of Epstein, including, but not limited to, Sarah Kellen, Adriana Ross, Leslie Groff, or Nadia Marcinkova. So Nadia Marcinkova is named here as someone that the state, I get, what would it be, the state of Florida, or is it the United States? No, the United States is not allowed to prosecute for crimes she committed with Epstein, which is interesting because, according to many victims, Marcinko, also known as Marcinkova, so this is from another Daily Mail article, who was Jeffrey Epstein's private pilot. Here is a photo of Sarah Ransom here with who's a victim of Epstein, with apparently one of these 3 girls is Nadia Marcinkova on Epstein's island. We don't know who. Apparently one of these is Nadia Marcinkova. I don't know. There's Sarah Ransom there on Little St. James Island. But yeah, let me just Control F real quick here. Nadia Marcinko. Jeffrey Epstein's private pilot is also seen in the damning pictures posing with girls on the island. She has long been accused of being an accomplice in procuring underage girls for Epstein. Now, I don't want to be like a total, Nadia Marcinkova is evil here. Like, we do have, there's some pretty terrifying accusations against her, no doubt. But where is it going to say here? Marcinkova was a young girl when Epstein brought her from Yugoslavia to live with him. I believe she was 14 years old when Epstein says that her parents sold her to him as a sex slave. I wonder if it's going to be in here. No, not. Here. Junior Roberts, sex slave. No, okay. Well, I don't know. I thought I had the thing up here. But anyway. So Nadia Marcinkova was abused by Epstein. It seems like but then became his assistant, became his pilot, became kind of like useful to him in that way, and also was recruiting girls for him, participating in some of the abuse with him. Somebody who is like maybe more of like a Ghislaine Maxwell type almost, but not quite. But after Epstein got arrested the first time, she did visit him a lot in prison. But after that, she started this company, Aviloop. She started Aviloop, and she started a career as kind of a like pretty successful influencer. Check this out. So this is an old archive page. This page isn't up anymore. Of her page, Global Girl. She used to be called Gulfstream Girl. And then after Epstein became news, Gulfstream was like, actually, do not call yourself that. We're suing you for whatever, trademark violation. So she changed it to Global Girl. But so this is just like a page. It's not very well maintained here. None of the photos are here, but you can kind of get a, I don't know, general idea of what type of stuff she used to post. It's a lot of just kind of like, just in case you could use a smile today, #pilot puppies. It's kind of cutesy stuff, you know. She's Gulfstream, but she's still like a girl, you know. She's Gulfstream, but she's still a girl. She's global, but at the same time, she's like a girl. She's a globally girl, but she's a girly girl at the same time. You know what I mean? Anyway, but then she'll post like really intense stuff about planes. Back in the Phenom 300 for the day. I forgot how fastest rocket ship can climb. Anyway, around 2019 or so, like all this stuff got taken down. We do have this. Here's a screenshot of her old YouTube page. No longer exists. Global Girl. And here is a bunch of her old videos. So these have been saved and re-uploaded on somebody else's account here. Here's her, I think, is this with Larry? Yeah, this is with Big Dog. Yeah, I recognize that profile. This guy here. This is Epstein's pilot. So this might be on the Lolita Express. What's his name again? Larry Epstein pilot. It's Larry something. Larry Visosky. This is him. Here's a picture. I know his nickname is Big Dog. Big Dog. His like Instagram account was like Big Dog Gulfstream or something. I forget. Something like that. Very good question, Awo. Marcinko has always been a figure that's hard for me to wrap my head around. Why stay and help him after all she must have experienced? Greed, lack of other options. I mean, Stockholm Syndrome, definitely I can see lack of other options as a thing. Just becoming at a young age desensitized to this lifestyle. And also, I mean, like, just the attraction to this really intense life, this billionaire literally jet setting life. I can imagine that being hard to remove yourself from, you know, once you become accustomed to a certain level of luxury lifestyle. Plus she was abused as an underage girl. Like, this is a complex emotions. It is hard to wrap your head around. But I don't think that this is particularly unusual for people who have gone through horrible things like this. But I do find it a little bit tough to be like, to totally, I don't know, like, write her off as just irredeemably evil. Yeah, so here she is flying. I guess this is a Gulfstream. Flight and landing by Gulfstream Girl. So during her time with Epstein, she was like, you know what? I don't usually have the opportunity to be constantly on this Gulfstream jet. Let me learn how to fly it. And she did. But then there's also all the stuff about how she participated in the abuse. I think that's kind of messed up. A few people have accused her of that. Here's a weird ass video. This is from Maxman.tv. Hot pilot pranks instructor in fighter plane. Let's actually watch this. Let's watch this.
Hey, what's that? What? I'm sorry, right. If you listen to what I say, we'll keep going. Otherwise, I'm not going to let you fly anymore, okay? Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is a prank show.
Well, my name is Fred Bell. I'm the director of the Palm Springs Air Museum. We're going to have some fun with Tom Nightingale.
This is so, like, weirdly, I don't know. We're going to do it's welcome to Prank Wars. Max, man, no idea what the hell this channel normally does. Oh, it's all daring public stunts, social experiments, and outrageous pranks. Okay. Prank channel. Got it. All right. Victim. It's like the Call of Duty, like.
We're going to have some fun with Tom Nightingale. We have him.
Whatever happened to like Just for Laughs gags? Why is all this kind of why is every prank video gotta seem like you're watching fucking, I don't know. Yeah, it's like I guess that's where the shift came from. Punked. It's like why are you doing like cool music? Like you're not a fucking Scorsese movie. Like this is a prank. All right, so here's Nadia Marcinko, and she's going to be the hot pilot. Maybe you figured it out from the title. She's the hot pilot who pranks the instructor.
Fun with Tom Nightingale.
What's with the camera?
We have him in our flagship airplane.
Look at what she's
P-51 Bunny.
Okay, this is so strange. Look at how she's like dressed for this prank. She's like, I'm going to be a hot girl. Okay, got it. Pigtails and a teddy bear. Like, I don't know. She seems kind of unhinged, you know? Anyway.
Him in our flagship airplane, which is the P-51 Bunny, and Tom is going to take out a volunteer who he thinks is a volunteer, when in reality
War
she's
Wings.
not.
Who even knows what the heck that is? What is War Wings?
Out a volunteer who he thinks is a volunteer. When in
I guess it is. I'm guessing it's like a wing shop. Maybe it's a wing, like a, you know, what do you call those things? Beer and meat or whatever.
Reality, she's not.
Here's a bunch of clips of her. Actually, she's like really good at flying. She's really good at flying. Actor posing as Nadia's friend. Before, after. And I'm just like, why? Is that the opposite of pilot? I guess they're like, but it's like, she's obviously not a child. I don't know. Something weird's going on here. This time the guys at War Wings asked us to prank a flight instructor. We asked Nadia to go undercover as a nerd. Oh, is that what she is? A nerd.
Okay, so Nadia, this is our briefing room. So it doesn't have a full cockpit in the back, the rudder pedals it has. You'll be able to fly from the back. The airplane can fly 430, yes.
Can the plane shoot?
It used to be able to shoot, not any longer. It used to have 6 50 caliber machine guns.
She's playing the game on her device. That's kind of funny, actually. She's asking dumb questions. Does it know how to shoot?
Airplane will go 400.
Does it have air conditioning?
No, it doesn't have air conditioning. You know what? Maybe we ought to just stop here. Let's go out and see the airplane. How would that be? Go. So what is that?
It's a really cool video game. See, it's really cool. I can play against other people in real time and do all kinds of cool maneuvers.
Is this a sponsored ad for this game? Oh, it is. Download the game now. Android. Okay. And a lot of these prank videos are fake, right? Like a lot of them are totally fake. This part seems so unnatural. Hey, by the way, what's that cool game you're playing? Wow, is it free to download and you only have to pay if you want to upgrade stuff? Well, cool.
Well, you'll see it's not quite the same, my dear. My dear.
Whoa! Stop! Whoa!
Okay, I don't get it. Are you allowed, if you're not a pilot, are you allowed to go up and like fly around? Like even if you have a second person? That's a thing? And she made a few mistakes. I'm confused. I'm starting to think this might not be real.
All right, now I can try one. Okay, want to try one? Okay, your airplane. Oh! Wow, where did that come from? That was pretty amazing. What's the matter to do that?
This guy isn't even upset at all. He's like, "Whoa, cool! You did a cool flip." Yeah, I think this is fake. I think this is staged. Listen, call me conspiratorial. I don't get on board with every conspiracy. This one, no, I don't think this was a real prank.
I'm actually an ATP and an aerobatic pilot, so say hi to the camera. Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. Oh, you got me going. You got me good on that one.
No, no reaction at all. I almost think actually maybe this is real because if it was fake, you'd think he'd be like, "What the fuck? Seriously? That's great!" But he's like, "Oh wow, you really got me good." Like it's just a dumb idea for a prank. I feel like it could have been. Say hi to the camera.
Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. Oh, you got me going. You got me good on that one.
Anyway, so like whatever, we don't need to watch anymore. But like this is just an example of some of the fun influencer stuff that Nadia used to get up to. And like, look at the comments. Everybody's kind of like loving it. The look on her face as she's flying around is amazing. You can tell she loves what she does. I was so hoping she'd say she learned to fly from the video game. Well, actually, that would have been kind of funny. But like, you know, like she's like a likable person. She's was good on whatever her Facebook. She had a lot of followers. She had a lot of fans. And yeah, she ran this company called Aviloop. Now, all right, let's talk about the other channel. The other channel that does still exist. Now, this is this channel for Aviloop. All right, if you go on YouTube, this is up. Somebody mentioned earlier, I think Hannah? Yeah. Have you seen those creepy adverts they did for the fake airline? These are still up. Not all of the things are up on the actual channel, but like these 4 videos are still up. So if you go to the Aviloop YouTube channel, only 221 subscribers, guys. Show them some love. They could really use your help. Okay, what are these? Let's watch these.
Welcome to Aviloop, your collective buying website for anything aviation. We offer deals on flight lessons, pilot accessories, fuel, FBO services, charter flights, and even small aircraft. Our deals are usually 50 to 90% off. That means whether you want to learn to fly, charter an airplane, or to see more girls like me, Aviloop can help. What? You can even vote
to see more girls like me.
Your favorite deal attendant and win special prizes. Our membership is completely
all
free.
Right. Now this is where things get a little bit weird. Okay? To see more girls like me.
Or to see more girls like me. Aviloop.
What? Huh? I thought Aviloop was about helping aviation brands. Yeah, see, this is the thing. What the fuck is Aviloop? Like, Aviloop is almost like a Terramar type thing, where it's like this company that ostensibly does something, but it's like, what the fuck does it actually do? You know? So there's a bunch of these videos on here of girls.
Hi, welcome to Cole's Flight School on Aviloop.com.
Really hearing
My
it in
name
my
is
one ear.
Ashley, and I'm your deal attendant. Anyone who claims that humans were not meant to fly never experienced the thrill of their own successful landing. If you've been bitten by the flying bug and you want to add multi-engine to your pretty green license, this is your opportunity to do it at 50% off. You don't see that very often. Today's deal includes all the necessary ground school and 15 hours of multi-engine flight training.
Oh, okay.
Get ready to fly big boy airplanes.
Big boy
To purchase
airplanes.
this deal, you must hold at least a private pilot license and a current medical certificate. Don't miss out and click on that big blue button. You know you want to.
Doesn't this woman seem like there's like a gun pointed at her or something off screen? It's like very weird. Very odd.
Hi, welcome to Classic Flight Training on Aviloop.com. My name is Claire, and I'm your deal
I think
attendant.
this is the first
With
maybe
today's
again.
deal, you can
Right?
channel your inner Top Gun, climb into the cockpit, and learn to fly an airplane. You can even practice saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking." The flight lasts 1 hour under the supervision of an FAA instructor, begins with a ground school lesson, and ends with a new perspective on what you were born to do.
Whoa.
And remember Top Gun? Clearly, your attractiveness increases with every flight under your belt. Just remember to wear your aviators and pick a cool call sign, Captain.
Okay.
Hi.
Captain. This one was like, oh, you're flying big boy airplanes or whatever. And then this one says, oh, if you want to see more girls like me, check out the web. It's just like,
Hi.
what is going on? I think there's
Welcome
another
to
one, too.
Aviloop, your collective buying website for anything aviation. We
Collective buying website for anything aviation. That's which is a different thing than I don't know.
offer deals on flight lessons, pilot accessories, fuel, FBO services, charter flights, and even small aircraft. Our deals are usually
So it's just a website you can buy anything related to planes. You can be like, oh, I need some airplane fuel. Let me click on these uncomfortable looking girls in a white soundstage room wearing the Halloween costume for a stewardess.
50 to 90% off. That means whether you want to learn to fly, charter an airplane, or just see more girls like me, Aviloop can help.
Another one.
You can even vote for your favorite deal attendant and
Now, so see more girls like me, and you can even vote for your favorite deal attendant. So these girls are called deal attendants. They've all said, "Hello, I'm a deal attendant." Deal attendant. Okay, Finland. This is these are still up. These are not like I didn't dig these up on the dark web or anything. They're from the Aviloop website, which is Nadia Marcinkova's weird company that she started after leaving Epstein's orbit in 2011. Vote for your favorite deal attendant.
and win special prizes.
Win
Our membership is completely free, our deals are unbeatable, and there is no catch. So what are you waiting for, Captain?
I think that there's a catch. I think something tells me there's more to this company than I can see right now. And oh yeah, great point, Hannah. Like these girls are all kind of Epstein coded, right? Like, which maybe these might be some of, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but they could be people that, let's say, Nadia knows from her time with Epstein, who she got to help her with this. I don't know. It's very weird.
Subscribe to our newsletter and get in the loop.
In the Loop with Aviloop.
Welcome to...
So there's those 4 videos. I believe there's actually more. People have recovered them. There's a whole, this guy on Reddit, he was able to get a bunch of... Okay, so I think these might just be the same ones we just saw. Oh, yeah. These are the same ones that we just saw. So for some reason, surprisingly, all of those old videos are still available. YouTube turned them into shorts, but they're from like 11 years ago or something. Well, actually, when are they from? Does it say? Oh, 2011. Wow. So yeah, these are from right when Aviloop was opened. As we can see from our Aviloop page, Nadia Marcinkova, since 2011, she's been sharing her expertise through her consulting work at Aviloop. She started Aviloop. So that is right, like as soon as she left Epstein's orbit, she immediately started this thing and shot those 4 creepy ass videos. Yeah, why does it look like shit? Yeah, good point, Widgie. You'd think if there's one thing that Epstein could have learned at her time with Epstein, if she learned how to fly a plane, Epstein could have taught her how to set up a camera. We know he did that quite a bit. Yeah, that sound, rough stuff. Yeah, a shell corp. I'm not a super smart with money type person. But I'm sure there's a better way that I could have said that. But so there's a couple things that might be going on with Aviloop. Number one, It's totally above board. It's exactly what it seems like it is. It's here to help your brand fly higher. It helps grow aviation brands through targeted marketing and promotions, something like that. That's possibility one. Another possibility is this is something that she learned from Epstein, which I think maybe Ghislaine also learned from Epstein, is just like, oh, if you make a real sounding company, you can just become rich and not have to do any work. You can do all these fake fucking tax things, and you can hide money, and you can get all this weird shit and blah, blah, blah. Like, it might be something like that. It might be something like Terramar, where it's just like a fucking sneaky way of funneling Clinton Foundation donations to whatever, right? Third possibility, and I think, these friggin' weird ass, like, horror movie looking clips of these girls. See more girls like me. To see more girls like me, go to aviloop.com.
Order an airplane, or to see more girls like me, Aviloop can help.
Like, I'm not. I hope this doesn't seem like I'm being overly, tinfoil hat here, but my initial thought is that this is another sex trafficking business. Like, this is a way for, like, don't worry, like, on your card, it'll just show up as a consulting, an aviation consulting company, but yeah, go to the YouTube channel, pick a girl you like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. That kind of seems maybe like what we might be looking at. Now, I will also say, where is it? So I've gotten I'm like trying to figure out more about these deal attendants, right? Like, that's what they're called. So this is from another archived page. And this is from the same website, aviloop.com, which still exists, but is very different now than it was in the past. This one's from 2013. Meet our deal attendants. Vote, win, chat, ... You never know, right? Vote, win, chat. So, and one of them in their video mentioned, the last one said, you can even vote for your favorite deal attendant. But, like, this is weird. Vote, win, chat, ... You never know. Like, what does that mean? Like, if you vote and then what? I don't know. I don't know what that means. How do you win something that you voted in? Like, if you vote for the one who wins, does that mean you get to chat with them and then you never know what happens next? It's weird, right? It's all very strange. I wish that more was on this thing. Why vote? Every week we feature an interview with the most popular deal attendants. Only one of you will win a one-on-one video chat with our deal attendant. Remember, these girls are not just pretty faces. You'll be talking to real successful fashion models with exciting backgrounds. Many are big aviation fans. So you will have a lot to talk about. You never know. Anyone can like and tweet, but only members can vote. Limit 1 vote per day. This is very odd. But I will say, yeah, you never know. It's like, I mean, no, like, sometimes you know. But yeah, it's weird. But, like, again, like, keep in mind, this is someone who's, I don't know, in her 20s maybe, who'd been abused by Jeffrey Epstein since she was a teenager, since she was like 14, bought from her parents, blah, 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 blah. Maybe this is her trying to run a legitimate business, and just like the only way that she knows how to talk to men or to like appeal to men or something is to be it's like shit like this. You never know. Oh, a lot of them really love aviation. They're big aviation fans. Okay. So you have a lot to talk about. Like, it's weird, right? Okay. Now, if you go to the FAQ, which I should be able to open up here, there is a lot of stuff about deal attendance. Look at this. The FAQ, customer questions. Who are the Aviloop deal attendants? And we've got here, I guess, a cartoon version of the deal attendants. Aviloop deal attendants are high-end professional models. You may recognize them from magazines, billboards, runway shows, or TV commercials. Also, I should mention, Nadia Marcinko, she says, she's always saying, and like Epstein would always say, oh, she's a former like high-end model. No evidence that that's true. There's no modeling campaigns she did. There's no, runway shows. There's no evidence that anyone's found that it's like, this is, something that's really happened. But like even on the Aviloop page, this is the one that's still up, her career evolved from marketing through high fashion modeling to aviation. This just seems like a lie this seems like an Epstein type lie where he was probably she was his girlfriend. He'd be taking her around. She's on his arm, whatever. He's like, oh yeah, she used to be a high end fashion model and now she's a pilot. Like he loves shit like that. Right. So it's a story that I'm guessing, and this is total speculation, by the way, I don't know, but I'm guessing that this lie came from Epstein, and Nadia just was like, okay, I guess that's what I am now, because it's still on her website even to this day. Anyway, but yeah, it's funny that the very first question on the FAQ is about the deal attendant. Because people are like, who the fuck, what's going on here? Why should I vote? After voting, you'll be automatically entered to win our special prize, VIP one-on-one video interview with one of our beautiful deal attendants. Remember, you have to be a member to vote. Register here. How do I know if I won? If you're the winner, you'll be notified by email. You can see if you won by checking our deal attendant page. I wonder if there's anything on here that we can see. Deal attendant page. Oh, okay. Let me check if it's on the archive. Yeah, this is weird, eh? Archive.today. Archive.today. Nope, not on that one. What about Wayback Machine? Could it be? Oh, shit. Oh, damn. All the way back in 2011. Oh, hell yeah. Let's check out the interview page of the deal attendant. Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Lion Roars. Bohemian Grove, something out of Harry Potter. Kind of. Actually, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of Harry Potter-ish. But, yeah, well, I'll get into Bohemian Grove in a bit. But we're almost done with this. But I did want to go, oh, wow. Okay, so we actually have a full interview from Ashley. Ashley. Welcome, Ashley. Thank you for joining us here at Aviloop. Where are you from? I'm originally from North Carolina, but now I live in New Jersey. Tell us how you became a model. I was always told I should try it. When I moved to New Jersey, I ventured into New York City, and a booker from an agency said, you should try this. What's the most difficult part of modeling? I would have to say the commuting in and out of the city. Do you like to fly? I do. Oh, wow, guys. Ashley seems like a massive fan of aviation. She sounds like her and a pilot guy would have a lot to talk about. Imagine being a guy that goes to this website to vote like every week. I gotta vote for my favorite. Have you ever taken a flying lesson? I have not, but I was in the plane with my mother when she took one. So which is more frightening, turbulence on an airplane or tripping during a runway show? Definitely tripping during a fashion show. Good answer, smiley face. We hope you try again, and we get to see you on our kind of runways very, very soon. Interests: flying, modeling. Winning video: Ashley. Oh, how many votes did she get? 1. Oh, jeez. They didn't even lie though. That's cool that they didn't even. New interview every Monday? Our one-on-one video chat winner is who? This cartoon guy? Wow. Okay, like so weird. I mean, okay, so is it just a video sex chat thing? I don't know. So I'm guessing that there is some sort of a I'm guessing, okay, I don't know. Personally, I do kind of think that the escort service thing seems right to me. I think maybe the thing they were trying to do with the the video chat thing would be like, you know, hey, you can, if you talk to us on the video chat, because like they don't want to put on the website anywhere exactly what it is, but if they do a video chat with you, then they can kind of be like, hey, so by the way, here's the deal. This is, do you know the password maybe or something like that? I don't know. So it's not just to pilots, Finland. It's to anyone. It's actually to brands working in the aviation industry. It's not just pilots. It's like, airplane companies. People can go to Aviloop to buy fuel. People can go to Aviloop to buy like a new plane. They can connect them. Apparently, they work with brands, so brands get Aviloop. Like Aviloop was like sort of trying to be like a, I don't know, like a central, like almost like a social network of pilot shit. Right? So they always had deals. It's kind of like maybe like a Groupon sort of thing where it's like, if you can get a 90% off on airplane fuel here. And we have all these deal attendants, blah, blah, blah. And they're also consultancy, like they did consulting work. But yeah, it did seem to be largely, yeah. Oh, flying lessons you could also buy from them. There's Nadia right there. You can buy aircraft, accessories. It's very weird. Oh yeah, there's zero evidence that happened, and it's hard to believe. Yeah, I mean, like, it's so weird that it's difficult to describe. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't even expecting to be able to find that, but look at these. Look at these more fucking questions about deal attendants. What should I talk about during my interview? You can talk about anything you want. Whether you decide to call alone, invite a friend, family member, or the little aspiring model in your life, you will have fun. We can also help suggest some questions and topics. Just email us at info@aviloop.com. Our deal attendants are fun, sweet girls with surprising goals and interests who just happen to be supermodels. Many of them are learning to fly or hoping to start. Okay, now enough about these deal attendants. Let's get into business questions. What is the deal with deal attendants? Yeah, I think we all would like to know that. So here's their explanation for why they have deal attendants. As a business, so if you're in the aviation industry, you have the option to include a professional video of one of our stunning models on your deal page for a flat fee. She will deliver a 30 to 60 second message describing your promotion. So like, okay, I'm a guy that's got a lot of airplane fuel. I'm like, hey, Aviloop, can you help me sell this at 90% off? And they're like, yes. Would you like to pay us extra and we'll have a deal attendant on your deal page? So when people go, oh yeah, maybe I would like to buy that. And then there's a hot girl in a, mall stewardess Halloween costume in a dark room looking uncomfortable, shilling your airplane fuel, like that's what the ostensible deal is with deal attendants. Our writers can take care of the copy, or we can work with you to customize the message. Our deal attendants are real professional models who work for high-end clients only because of our connections in the modeling world. Okay. Fucking MC2, elite models with Jean-Luc Brunel, even like Trump models, there's definitely some Epstein connection going on here. Can we offer this service to you at such low cost? You won't get this anywhere else. Yeah, I imagine that anywhere else you could try to sell like a new fucking plane or something. They wouldn't offer you like a frightened girl to pitch it to people. Why should I include a deal attendant? Have any reporters ever tried to dig into this? I have never seen any reporter do it, although I've seen a lot of the conspiracy types get into it. There's a good Reddit page where people go over some of this stuff. I'll throw it in the chat if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, no, as far as I know, there hasn't been like a concerted, deep dive into this before. from like a reputable source, you know. There's been stuff like what I'm doing now, definitely. People have gone into this before. I mean, yeah. There's a surprising amount available on the archive sites. Excuse me. There's multiple days. Like we could probably read like a bunch of other useless model interviews if we wanted to. Why should I include a deal attendant? Although all our promotions get a lot of exposure, dubious claim, adding a deal attendant has the potential of making it viral on social media sites. Definitely not true. You even get to use the video after the expiration of your promotion to promote your business further. We encourage all our members to vote for their favorite attendants, thereby driving even more traffic to your page. We also reward our members for voting with special prizes at no cost to you. Promotions that include a video tend to be extra successful. Do I get to pick a specific deal attendant? Our deal attendants are professional models with busy schedules. While we do our best to accommodate your requests, we cannot guarantee their availability. We'll work with you to find the right girl to represent your brand. So, it's so weird, right? I mean, it's like 100 octane low lead fuel that you're saying, yeah. Aviation fuel is sold at airports, but private individuals can own and maintain their own fuel trucks. I bought aviation fuel to run certain motorcycles. I had to buy at the small airport. Oh, interesting. Huh. Cool. The fuel part is curious to me. I don't know what the aviation gas supply chain is like, but I always figured you buy it from whoever is supplying the airport you're using. They send it a truck out so you can BYOB. Yeah, no, it's quite interesting, isn't it? It's quite interesting. Who are the affiliates? Let's see if this is maybe there. Can we see who was anyone trying to sell shit on their site? No. Oh, you got to log in. Ugh. Dang. Win an interview with your favorite deal attendant. Like, you know, it's either like, if this is a real business, a lot of the way that they've chosen to do it is definitely kind of like skewed based on Nadia's like trauma, you know, her experience with Jeffrey Epstein. Because it is so creepy. This whole thing is really, really creepy. But on the other hand, like it isn't that much of a leap. Like I don't think you have to be super tinfoil hat to be like, no, I think that this is a like escort service, you know? I think that that's what we're looking at here. It's a sort of like a speakeasy kind of thing where there's like a members only type thing and blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, I mean, there's something odd. There's something off. There's something not quite right. Let's see what other interviews they have. Did they have more than one? Because there's only 4 videos. Did they have more than? Okay, here's one from 2015. Still Ashley. I guess she won again. Same exact answers. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, Ruffle, you going to give me something? Ruffle plays Flash videos. So do we get to see who Ashley is? Maybe not. This is Claire.
Hi, welcome to Cole's Flight School on Aviloop.com. My name is Ashley, and
this is Ashley. Oh, this is Ashley. She's the one who looks the most uncomfortable. So this is Ashley. Yeah. Anyways, let's see the next day. Oh, this is the last one. Let's see. Well, who else we got? Ashley again. 2015. Maybe it just wasn't updated that much. Ashley again. 2013. Appears that Ashley is the only one who ever won. She's the real, I don't know, fan favorite. Ashley again in 2012. And that's here's 2011. And it's Ashley. Okay. Well, Ashley was on a pretty undefeated winning streak from 2011 to 2016, considering that they did votes every single week. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm also curious about these girls. Like, I wonder if they, like, who are they? Like, are they people that we might know? I don't recognize any of them from these videos.
Welcome to Aviloop, your collective buying website for anything aviation. We offer deals on flight lessons, pilot accessories, fuel, FBO services, charter flights, and even small aircraft.
Like, that can't be right. That's too many things for this weird company to do. Like, it's got to be a plausible deniability thing. I don't know. I'm so tempted to just jump to the obvious conclusion here, but I don't know. The truth is, we don't know, but it's odd. It's beyond odd. And Marcinko also unsealed court documents allege Marcinko has never been charged with any crime, procured young women for Epstein, a claim her lawyers have denied. She was granted immunity from prosecution in 2008. That is true. She pleaded the fifth 42 times when she was questioned about former President Bill Clinton and other associates of Epstein. Have you witnessed improper sexual activity between Jeffrey Epstein and minors while he's in the presence of Bill Clinton? Fifth, she responded. He's also asked whether she knew Bill Clinton, whether she'd ever been on a plane with him, and if she knew Doug Band. Fifth. Other names mentioned during Marcinkova's testimony included Jean-Luc Brunel, hedge fund manager Glenn Dubin, and Alan Dershowitz. And fifth. Yes, Marcinkova's testimony was, okay. I was trying to find, what was I specifically trying to find here? Look at this. Marcinko is reported to be the CEO of Aviloop LLC, which offers a wide range of services designed to accelerate the growth of brands in the aviation industry. The firm, I guess the firm being Aviloop, is listed as being based at a New York building owned by Epstein's brother, Mark. Interesting. Is there a way that I can check that? I don't even know. Aviloop, New York City. Well, New York City is probably where that would be. Oh, and look at this, guys. This hasn't been updated since 2019. That's the year Epstein went to jail and died. I'm just sort of confused that she hasn't taken this stuff down, because she's totally dropped off the map. But this stuff is still up, and you can go to you can request things get taken down from the Wayback Machine, right? But the website stuff, the YouTube videos are still up. It's all so weird. Yeah. Really odd, guys. I'm not sure what to make of all this. But yeah, this is just one more of the weird Epstein mysteries. Mysteries. Sort of thing. Yeah, another one of the unsolved Epstein mysteries. And I don't really have anything else to show you about that. It's weird is what it is. You know what? Okay, there is one more thing I'd like to see. How many times did she visit him in jail? Because I believe that she visited him quite a lot, and that would have been around the time she started Aviloop. Visit. There it is. Yeah. She was once reportedly referred to by Epstein as his sex slave, according to testimonies by other victims, and is believed to have visited Epstein in the Florida jail more than 70 times while he was locked up. Odd. I guess, yeah, taking it down would be more suspicious. Yeah, that's true. But like in 2019, like she knew that she needed to drop off the face of the earth. She hasn't been seen like at all since 2019. But her old shit is still up. It's weird. And she did take down her YouTube, which we do have archive of. Where's the picture? Yeah. Her old YouTube. Because she used to be like a pretty big plane influencer. She took down a lot of her stuff, but like, yeah, she's still around. Yeah, this is, what am I looking at right now? This is just a screenshot. It's on IBB. This is like an image website. Image Baby. And this is just a screenshot of her old YouTube channel, Global Girl. She used to be Gulfstream Girl. Anyways, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. We don't know much about, a lot of the other people. Yeah, the jail he could leave. Yeah. The jail he was allowed to leave for 6 days a week for like 12 hours a day. Yeah. 70 times she was like, no, I need to visit him on the day he can't leave. Oh, yeah. What article was that? Independent. This one. Who is Nadia Marcinko? Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave missing since documents released. And this is from 2024. And the documents were released in 2019, I believe. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. I guess that's wrong. I'm wrong about that. Has not been seen at her home since the public release of the Epstein files. Oh, so that was 2024? Really? So people had seen her in 2024? I didn't know that. I thought she was totally out of the picture. But yeah. Yes. It's too weird. I don't have too much more I don't have any more information on this. But it's all very strange, isn't it? I think I'm just going to leave it there, and however you guys want to feel about it, you can feel. Now I would okay. I want to get into the Bohemian Grove stuff. But let me first run and grab myself a beer. I'm going to put this video on from Hazel
Straddling
Thayer.
it with loads of debt.
Whoops. I'm going to put this Hazel Thayer's intellectual property theft of John Oliver on for a few minutes. And I'm going to give you another link to her channel. Here we go.
A lot of time is house flippers. They take struggling businesses, they make improvements to streamline and optimize them, and
Be right
then
back.
they make a profit. But they have a tendency to acquire successful companies and use that
She's talking about why Tim Hortons, the Canadian coffee shop, sucks now, and it's because of private equity.
to pay themselves
From Brazil and America.
by straddling it with loads of debt, astronomical management fees, and then hollow them out through ruthless cost cutting, wage slashing, and price gouging. So less house flipping, more like stripping the copper wiring out of the walls. It's been called vulture capitalism, vampire capitalism, plunder equity, and it's easy to see why. They acquire dental companies that give unnecessary expensive root canals to kids, which sometimes kills them. They acquire care homes and then cut the staffing and care quality for seniors so much that sometimes it kills them. They acquire vet clinics and then charge 10 times the price for emergency treatment, calling it creative pricing. So they're killing our kids, our grandmas, our pets, but worst of all, our beloved Canadian donut establishments. And it's not just the employees and customers getting screwed, but the franchise owners as well, who have gotten together to sue Tim Hortons for siphoning off their money. Others will report intimidation and bullying from the parent corporation and force them to sell their locations or renovate them just to make a quick buck for the shareholders. I mean, some of those franchise owners are just doing their best, except for the one in Dawson Creek. Fuck them, who cares? But private equity is laser focused on one thing: profits.
Wow.
And what do they do with those profits?
Yes, Finland. We're on the same page here. Yeah, Alex Jones made a video about a documentary, like a 2-hour documentary about Bohemian Grove in 2000. It's kind of the thing that put him on the map. Yeah, but let's talk about Bohemian Grove, shall we? Bohemian Grove. Let's let Joe Rogan introduce it.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And I say this many times, and I'll say it some more. Give me that lighter.
You got
Look,
it, Fred.
Alex Jones, he's made some mistakes and some big ones, but he's also actually exposed some real shit, and he owns up to the mistakes he's made. They're not good.
No, not really.
He doesn't think they're good. There's a thing about finding conspiracies everywhere that's not good for your brain. I really believe that.
So yeah, Alex Jones, as you're saying, Finland, he was in Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly. He played basically himself. In the 90s when Waking Life came out, he was just a random, like, funny, what's it called? Like a radio host, like Texas conspiratorial radio host. And I guess Linklater was like, this guy's crazy. I want him in my movie. And threw him in a fucking in Waking Life. And yeah, so I guess the first time I saw him was in Waking Life as well, because I didn't know who the fuck Alex Jones was then. And later on, I saw clips from Waking Life, and I was like, oh my God, that's Alex Jones? I had to rewatch it. And yeah, there's a big, weird, fully rotoscoped animated scene with Alex Jones yelling and his face turns red. And he's also in Scanner Darkly, which is also by Linklater and is also rotoscoped movie. I feel like the rotoscoping in Scanner Darkly is almost too good, although that creates this sort of uncanny valley effect that does actually fit that movie quite a bit, but I just don't find it as beautiful as Waking Life, where the rotoscoping is a lot more artistic and stylized. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting into animation critique, but yeah. Linklater, hey, he knows how to recognize when somebody's going to be a star. You know, he's good with that. And Jack Black in School of Rock, Matthew McConaughey, Dazed and Confused. That was him, right? Anyway, and Alex Jones. I mean, say what you will about him. Definitely don't say what fucking Rogan just said. He never, yeah. You know, he admits his mistakes. That is absolutely not true about Alex Jones. He does not admit mistakes ever. He will immediately lie and take down all the old videos and be like, I never said anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that. But say what you will about Jones. The guy is a presence. The guy is a presence on screen. The guy is a natural communicator. You know, he's a lot better at like doing this than I am. You know, it's crazy. You guys are choosing to watch me instead of InfoWars right now. Maybe may have admitted mistakes privately to Joe Rogan. Could be. But I mean, as you'll see in my video about Pizzagate, which is coming out soon, almost done. Should be. I'm hoping to get it out for the anniversary of Pizzagate, which is just in a few days. But after Pizzagate, Jones was like, you know, during Pizzagate, he was like, somebody's got to do something about this. Oh my God, it's crazy. Oh, I've got to go and investigate it, just like I did with Bohemian Grove. Oh God, somebody's got to go. Oh, they're pedophiles, they're monsters, they're demons. And then as soon as the Pizzagate shooting happened, he immediately took down all of his old Pizzagate videos and he uploaded a bunch of videos being like, I can't believe that like people think that I caused this. I've always said Pizzagate is not real and it's obviously a psyop. It's obviously fake. It's not real, blah, 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 blah. Just completely lying and being like, and you know what? Like, guys, the food as code thing, food is not, pizza's a really common word. You see it in an email, that doesn't mean they're talking about little girls or something. Come on, guys. And it's like, dude, you were so excited about Pizzagate for like fucking every day on your show for weeks. And then as soon as the guy brought a gun to the actual place that you kept stochastically terrorizing, now you're like, I always knew it was a psyop. It's not real. Yeah, fuck off with that shit. God, I remember Alex Jones. Do you think the internet would be a different place if he never got banned, or would he have still fallen into obscurity? He's like nowhere now. Oh, he's still quite big. He's still very successful. I think, yeah, because he got banned off YouTube. That was a huge blow to him, but he's continued to grow after that. Honestly, his resilience has been insane. Like I can't believe that I guess he just makes so much fucking money that he can just survive anything that happens. He, even with like history's worst lawyer. Yeah, it's all very weird, but yeah, no, things would be somehow, I feel like the world would be worse if he never got banned somehow, if that's even possible. Yo, MJF, we're actually just getting started. So the first part was about one thing. Now we're talking about Bohemian Grove. And we haven't even started talking about Bohemian Grove in this Rogan video. So let's get into that right now.
I think that if you go looking for those things and that's all you look for, and you look for them all the time, you can get real paranoid and real crazy. And then there's also a bunch of people that are trying to stop you from doing that because you do expose some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking about Epstein a long time ago.
I know.
A long time ago. He was saying there's a fucking island, and they take all these rich politicians and some celebrities, and they bang these kids. And I was like, come on. He was telling me this a long time ago. So he's also the one who told...
This is the thing, right? It's like conspiracy theorists, they are right about some things. They are right about some things. And that's their biggest fucking, like, the thing that they can grab onto. And like anytime something they said is proven right, oh my God, they have to highlight it. But the fact is, Alex Jones is almost always wrong. Actually, funnily enough, John Ronson went with Alex Jones to Bohemian Grove in 2000 or late 90s or whenever. And John Ronson edited together his footage to be a realistic documentary about the Grove. And Alex Jones edited his stuff together to be this insane, like, like, what the fuck was it called? I actually have it open in another tab. Dark Secrets. Here's young Alex Jones, by the way. Here's the sort of the documentary that kind of put him on the map. It was John Ronson trips. Alex kind of commandeered it. Yeah, that sounds about right. John Ronson's book, Them covers. Oh, really? Okay, cool. I'll definitely check that out. But pre 2019 Epstein talk, like during Pizzagate, in 2016, Jones was talking about Epstein, bringing up Lolita Express. The Clintons are flying on his plane a bunch of times, and really one of the earliest people talking about Epstein, period, was Roger Stone, who would often do so on InfoWars, but really would bring that shit anywhere. During 2015, he would talk about it on Fox News. He wrote articles with Daily Wire, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as Trump entered the presidential race, he backed off that. He backed off the Epstein stuff. But yeah, it's fun. Anyway, I'm still waiting for them to talk about Bohemian Grove.
Told me about Bohemian Grove. Well, I actually watched it. I think this tape was actually made before I met him. So he went and snuck in to this place where like former presidents go. There's a photograph of it's Ronald Reagan with Herbert Walker Bush and a couple other people all standing around. And it's like these are the people that used to hang out at this place, and they would put on robes and they would worship an owl god, and they would burn an effigy. And they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit, and then no one's denying that it's real. This is real.
So that is mostly true. But yes, Trump mentioned Epstein at CPAC. That's true. He actually mentioned it twice at CPAC. Once on stage. Big trouble for Bill. Oh, the certain island, Epstein related or whatever. Real cesspool, I think he called it. And then outside of CPAC, not on stage, just interviewed by some guy in the street, he brought up Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's big trouble with him and Epstein's island. A lot of cesspools over there. Okay, now Pee on the Ground. Now you're talking about Bohemian Grove, right? Yeah. Maybe the second most iconic thing about Bohemian Grove after the owl is people pissing outdoors. All of the most powerful people in the world peeing on trees. Now, I don't want to watch, some crazy. I don't want to watch Alex Jones' 2-hour documentary right now on here. Maybe I will, though, on here at some point, but it's fucking long. I want to watch a different guy. This guy, G WIlliam Domhoff. So I've been recently getting into this dude, Domhoff. Recently, I guess over the past year or so. I actually, the YouTuber One Dime is a buddy of mine. He lent me this book, Who Rules America? G WIlliam Domhoff. And it's called, Who Rules America? The Corporate Rich, White Nationalist Republicans, and Inclusionary Democrats in the 2020s. This is a book that he's written and rewritten many times. He rewrites it every couple of years, so it's updated. And I think he has such a brilliant way of looking at the way that the corporate class, not the corporate class, but let's call them the global corporate elite, are able to affect political change and essentially control the world as a cohesive class. Yes, getting Domhoff pilled 100%. And Domhoff, weirdly, so he's like, this guy's like a serious guy, G WIlliam Domhoff. I'll show you what he looks like. He had he's a sociologist, and he specifically, his field within sociology is power studies. So here is him. Best known as the author of the best-selling sociology books, including Who Rules America. I guess this is the first. Oh, sorry. I forgot you guys can't see what I'm doing. I changed it. There we go. Sorry. This is what he looks like. Wow. But he's best known as the author of several best-selling sociology books. Like, these are not really crazy-ass conspiracy books. Like, this is a respected academic guy. He's a little bit of a weirdo. He also he writes these things about power. What's it called? Power relation studies. I forget what the specific field is called. He also his other interest is in the scientific study of dreams. So he actually, I don't know, he works with. His research advocates a neurocognitive basis for future dream research. So I don't know, he's maybe a little bit weird, although I guess there's probably, I'm sure there are. I mean, I don't know. I hear somebody studies dreams. I assume that they're like, oh, what do you know? How can you tell the future from, I dreamed a white beetle crawled across my shoe. Does that mean I'm about to become rich? But no, I mean, dreams technically are a thing. I don't know. But yeah, he's a really smart guy, really cool dude. Talks a lot about the power elite. He's got a cool website called Who Rules America, where he posts a bunch of cool shit. WhoRulesAmerica.net. And he really explains how power works. I wonder if I can get the. I think this one has the famous diagram. So this is sort of like his kind of overall thesis. But we're going to watch this documentary about Bohemian Grove because just like Alex Jones, he came on the scene by doing a documentary about Bohemian Grove. But his documentary was in the 70s, I think. But this is his sort of this is how he describes the power elite. You've got these three overlapping circles. The social upper class at the top. So that represents rich people who grew up rich. They go to rich schools. They go to, they marry each other. They go to the same parties. They're just rich people. They're celebrities, some of them, many of them, they're in the news. Oh, it's a real who's who of socialites and jet setters. Yeah, it's like those types, It's like the Ghislaine Maxwells of the world are in this social upper class. In the bottom left corner here, you have the corporate community. Now, these are your CEOs, your business rich, people who run giant businesses, billionaires. The bottom right-hand corner. So this is a really interesting one here. He's done a lot of work studying this concept, the Policy Planning Network, the PPN. So Domhoff refers to this as the true political party of the elite. We have like in the U.S., which is where he's talking about with this, but I think this applies elsewhere as well. But in the U.S., you have the Democrats and the Republicans as your political parties. But the Policy Planning Network, rather, is what he calls the actual true political party of the ultra-rich, that they will work with anyone. So these are like your NGOs, your organizations, your nonprofits, think tanks, policy review boards. These are groups of people with a bunch of experts and boards of trustees on them that talk to politicians and are like, hey, we've written a law for you to do. And politicians are like, oh, thank God. Okay, cool. That would have been a lot of work for me to do on my own, so I will take this. Cool, great. We've also read this big thing so you don't have to read it, and here you go. This is what you're going to do. So these are the three groups, and you'll see where they intersect here. You've got the power elite, and there's a circle that sort of encompasses the center of all three. Now, obviously, not everyone who is a socialite or a jet setter, not everyone who's in the corporate community, not everyone who's in the PPN are the power elite, as we refer to them. But where they start to overlap, right? Like you've got CEOs, these people who own businesses, these billionaires, your Elon Musk types, and down the chain from him. And then you've also got the people who sit on these corporate boards, right? We were going over this the other day on this other website I think it's called Who Rules You or something. Theyrule.net. If you go to this website, let's say, and this is only updated to 2021, unfortunately, but let's say, okay, let's go Walmart. Okay, who's on the board of directors for Walmart? All right, here we go. These are all the board of directors for Walmart. And now I can, extend all these ones out more. Oh, this guy's also on the board of PepsiCo. This guy's on the board of JP Morgan Chase, United Health Group, MetLife, General Electric. So we start to build out these complicated webs with a lot of crossover. So when we're looking at these, this board here, we've got these boards of directors, and they cross over with each other. They're very incestuous. And we've got a lot of these boards of directors members are also on the boards of trustees. So they're relating to each other. They're talking to each other. They're making sure that their agenda is getting passed. And they all generally have the same overall agenda. Maybe they disagree on the specifics. Maybe they're, conservative versus ultra conservative, but they're all going to agree on crushing unions. They're all going to agree on lowering all barriers to international trade. They're going to agree on, lowering taxes for the rich. They're going to agree on, reducing the social safety net. They're going to agree on stuff like that. Everything else that, the Democrats and Republicans kind of fight each other at. Trans people shouldn't be able to poop near where I would want to do that. Like, that shit is, that is like a fake, like that's all like theater. I mean, obviously trans people are real and valid, and they should be allowed to poop, I think, wherever they want. But, or at least where a cis person's allowed to poop. But like, this is the true political representation. And you politicians, your elected representatives, they actually listen to a lot of what these guys say, rather than what you say, right? Rather than what the people who elected them say. Yes, I've listened to the Chapo episode of Eyes Wide Shut with Nick Mullen. Really good. I love Nick Mullen. He's so funny. Like one of the funniest people ever, I think. But yeah, I find this really interesting. So anyway, when we watch Domhoff's movie here, which we are about to do, Summer Camp for the Powerful, the Power Elite at Bohemian Grove, Domhoff's suggestion is that Bohemian Grove functions in the upper circle here, the social upper class. This is a thing, an activity that the elite do that helps them to be cohesive as a social class. And I forgot to mention, I managed to get my hands on a very rare copy of Domhoff's book, Bohemian. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. I managed to get my hands on a little copy here of The Bohemian Grove by Domhoff. Really hard to find. Sometimes it's on like Amazon, like a used copy will be on there for like $400. And I was randomly checking Amazon one day, and somebody was selling one for $11. I was like, God damn. Let me get that shit. So I got it. So I got that shit. But yes. Oh, he also talks about Bohemian Grove on his website here. And he mentions, so you'll be like, well, this documentaries from 1972 or something like that. But and here he's like, yeah, 1974 was when the book came out. He's written a new introduction in 2021, but he says somewhere in here, he says in it, absolutely nothing has changed about Bohemian Grove in all that time. It's still exactly the same. So, at least according to him, this documentary. Oh fuck! Sorry guys, I forgot that you weren't seeing what I was seeing, but I think it's fine. I don't think there was anything really visual there. I gotta remember about what page I have you guys watching. But yeah, no, tonight's movie night. It's not a super long movie. It's only a half hour long. I'll try not to interrupt it too much because I want to do my next video on this. So I'm sort of beginning my deep dive into Bohemian Grove right now. And yeah, I figured I might as well watch it with you guys here. So let's begin. Summer Camp for the Powerful, the Power Elite at Bohemian Grove.
If you want to be boys again without a care and keep gray hair away.
The owl is in his leafy temple. Let all within the grove be reverent before him. For behold, here is Bohemia's shrine, and holy are the pillars of this house. Hi, I'm Bill Domhoff. I teach psychology and sociology at the University of California in the beautiful seaside city of Santa Cruz. What you're seeing is the Mighty Owl Shrine at a place called the Bohemian Grove, an encampment for the very rich, a playground for the powerful. And what you've just heard are the opening lines that are spoken by the high priest in an initiation ceremony that has started every encampment since 1880. What you're going to see in the rest of this video is the story of the power elite at its Bohemian Grove. I'm going to tell you something about the living quarters, the entertainment, the pranks, the nonsense, the political talks, and details on that opening ceremony. I'm also going to tell you something about the guests at the Bohemian Grove, including former presidents like Richard Nixon or George Bush or Ronald Reagan. Well, I am a professor, so I'll also be telling you something about the sociological significance of the Bohemian Grove.
Funny, eh? Like, I think he probably mentions this in here, but like Nixon, Bush, Reagan, all have been members at the Grove or spoke at the Grove. But the Grove, for politicians, they only accept Republicans. There's no Democrats allowed. Isn't that funny?
About its functions, about what its existence
Yes, that's right. To Finland. Oh, why isn't it? Richard Nixon had some choice words about his visit. He did. There is a quote from him where he said the speech he gave at Bohemian Grove was the most important speech of his career. But there's also another quote, which we actually have the recording of, where he said something along the lines of, "That was some of the most gay shit I've ever seen," except for he didn't say gay. He said a slur which I won't say on stream or off.
Indicates. But in telling you about the significance of this Bohemian Grove, I don't want to give you the impression that it's at the very heart of the American power elite. So towards the end of my comments, I'll be giving you that larger picture. The Bohemian Grove is only an instance, only one piece of what we call the power structure. Put another way, I'm going to use the story of the Bohemian Grove as a window into the power structure in the United States. The Bohemian Grove is owned and operated by a downtown...
So he's saying, like, he's going to use the Bohemian Grove as a window into the looking at the power structure of the U.S., something like that. Sorry, looking for that diagram again. And I think that what's cool about the Bohemian Grove is it's a crazy fucking thing. And there's so many weird things about it, but it does involve at least a subcategory of the, the social upper class, the power elite. And so the way that you talk about it reveals a lot about how you think about these people. Like Alex Jones sees it and he's like, they're a bunch of evil Satanists. What they're doing is so unbelievably macabre and evil. You can hear the sacrificed child screams as they worship the Moloch. Like, I think the whole thing with Moloch actually comes from Alex Jones. But now let's hear it from a sociologist who has devoted his life to studying power. The power
Town Men's Club in San Francisco, called appropriately enough the Bohemian Club. That club was founded way back in 1872 by a group of young journalists, writers, and business people who wanted to get together a couple times each week to read poetry, read plays, and of course to have a lot of drinks. What you see behind me right now is the current clubhouse for the Bohemian Club. It's a 4-story building covered with ivy. If we go a little further into the clubhouse, we come to the bar room. The bar room at the Bohemian Club is called the Cartoon Room because the walls are decorated with large cartoon-like figures that were drawn by famous artists who visited the club.
Oh, there's so many fucking pictures there. Like, a conspiracy theorist could go nuts analyzing how each one of them represents, sacrificing children to the devil. There's certain roads that people can go down with conspiracy theories. One of them is puns, where you get really into puns and like rhyming stuff, and you're like, well, they say this, but it actually means this, and you can even do like puns across different languages. And then there's another big part of it is just not understanding art. People will be like, oh my God, these cartoons, they mean something.
Down through the years. Now we see the Cartoon Room.
The problem with this topic is it gets deep into anti-Semitism. Any conspiracy theory, unfortunately, will be shaded with anti-Semitism because so many fucking people just think the Jews run everything, and it just feeds into every conspiracy that they have. But I feel like Bohemian Grove in particular, it's even more tiresome than normal. The way that people would. Because I have seen stuff about how, like, who's a member of Bohemian Grove? George Soros, the Rothschilds, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, first of all, no, none of those people are part of the Bohemian Grove. Soros is, like, too liberal. This is a conservative thing. This is only for Republicans. So people say a lot of shit about Bohemian Grove without it being real at all. Anyway. Yeah, no, it's an issue. You'll be watching Doc, and all of a sudden, boom, the hate shows up. Yeah, no, it's an issue. I've talked about this before. Conspiracy theorists have a lot of code words for the Jews. They go into neocons, Zionists, whatever, globalists. Yeah. Oh, extremely waspy. Extremely waspy. Like, I mean, Kissinger was there. I'm trying to think of Jewish people who were there. But yeah, not many. A lot of, like, if you look at like actual conspiracies that were done in the U.S., many of them were done by WASPs because they actually have been the predominantly powerful group in America. I think nowadays we are seeing a Catholic comeback. We're seeing some Opus Dei shit. There's a lot of fucking Catholics getting into Supreme Court and shit. But the Protestants have always been like the most powerful religious, I guess, ethnic group. Anyway, let's continue.
With some very dignified looking gentlemen standing inside it. And if we look right in the center of the picture, we see what's a window. It looks very white. If you look closely at that window, what you'll see is the emblem of an owl. So it's not just out in the Bohemian Grove that we find owls. Owls are in fact everywhere for Bohemians because, lo and behold, owls are the totem animal of the Bohemian Club.
Yes, so owls, the owl symbol is very big in Bohemian Grove stuff. You'll often see like conspiracy theorists become obsessed with owls. Like this became a big thing during QAnon, but it was a big even before that. But really took off during QAnon, where owls are a symbol of Moloch, child sacrifice, whatever. And anytime you see an owl, like Drake's symbol is an owl. So like obviously he's an evil pedophile. I mean, if the shoe fits, I guess. But yeah, owls are evil guys. And that's how I found out that all of the fucking hipster girls I dated in my 20s who had like owl necklaces, that was like a big popular thing. I don't know, back in the day. I guess they all must have been part of an elite Moloch cult.
We find them on the stationery. We find them on ashtrays. We find them on little pins that the men wear on their lapel. Well, if calling the owl the totem animal of Bohemian Grove sounds a little anthropological and tribal and prehistoric, it's meant to. Because in fact, these men's clubs in America have much the same function as do male secret societies in pre-literate societies. And one of those functions is excluding women, making sure that women are kept out of power and increasing male solidarity. So, women are not allowed to be members of the Bohemian Club.
That's another thing. It's only men, so it's very like patriarchal, like, oh, they're very strict about this. I think they were sued on this a few times, and I think they now allow women to work at the Grove, but not to be members. And they can only work in the parking lot and one other place. But they're like, but this is like, I mean, this is sort of a look at this sort of patriarchal nature of the elite, right? This cohesive group. Even the women in this social upper class are not often invited to the power elite. Like they are, in this case, they're actually like, they're kept out of it. Yeah. It's interesting. Anyway.
And they're not allowed to be guests at the Bohemian Grove. And if you can believe this, they're not even allowed to come in the front door of the downtown clubhouse on the rare occasions when they're allowed to be guests. Well, I'll be coming back to talk more about...
I think that's still true. But in 2020, or no, I don't know, sometime in the 21st century, they had yes, they allowed female waitresses in, yeah, that is true, but I think that's different from the clubhouse. Or is that the only place where they have waitresses? I don't know. I've never actually been.
About the sociological significance of the Bohemian Club in just a minute. But for now, let's go back out to the Bohemian Grove and see what's happening out there. The Bohemian Grove is located on the Russian River, 75 miles north of San Francisco. It covers 2,700 acres, but only a few hundred of those...
Oh, this guy's ahead of his time, eh? He's doing like a video essay, green screen video essay. You can see he's like, I don't know if he's looking off at like a mirror or something, trying to make sure he's pointing at the right spot on the map. What is that, a rear projection or is that a green screen? Must be I don't know. 72 must be a rear projection.
Of San Francisco. It covers 2,700 acres, but only a few hundred of those acres are actually used. The Bohemian Grove is actually divided into about 120 different camps. It's like you took...
I believe they allow women only in two places, the parking lot and some kind of other place where they can serve. But yeah, they generally keep women far away. Probably because of patriarchal, whatever, sexism. But also, you're going to see a lot of old guys pissing on trees. Women wouldn't be able to handle that.
The fraternity row at a big university and moved it up into the redwoods. Each of these camps has a little pet name like Aviary or Sons of Toil or Druids or Mandalay or Wolf. And each of these camps also has a special drink that it offers. It has special gags that it plays upon the visitors who come to see them. The men are constantly...
Now, whatever. Like, I feel like what's most offensive to me about this, like, aviary, bald eagle, okay, but then some of them are like hillbillies, jungle, I don't know, where it feels like they're kind of like making fun of poor people, you know, because like, all these people are billionaires. Not all of them, but these people are like the elite. And they're like, we're the hillbillies. Oh, come to hillbilly camp. We're making moonshine.
Moving around from camp to camp, talking to each other. The mythology is that all of these camps are equal, but the truth is that some of these camps are a lot more equal than others. The really big wheels are at Mandalay, where there's a former president or two, as well as former cabinet officers and many heads of major corporations. There's also a former president named Ronald Reagan at Owl's Nest, and there's a former president...
Well, you can tell Owl's Nest is like one of the big, most powerful ones.
At Hillbillies, a man named George Bush. Summer camp at the Bohemian...
Yeah, the Hillbillies are the Bushes. Think about that. One of the richest fucking families in American history.
Grove always takes place in the last 2 weeks in July when the weather is usually perfect. The encampment encompasses 3 weekends, and it's on the weekends that there's 1,500 to 2,000 men in the Grove. During the rest of the week, attendance can dip as low as 350 to 400. The encampment begins on a Friday night, but the big event of the first weekend is the Saturday night initiation ceremony featuring the high priest and the owl. So now I want you to kind of sit back and relax, get yourself in a mood to see how the power elite and their...
So in Jones' documentary, he goes over this too, the cremation of care, the ceremony that they do in front of the giant stone owl. This is like where Alex Jones's portrayal of it is the reason why people think that owl is Moloch. But the owl is not Moloch, by the way. That's just ignorant. If I look up Moloch, this is Moloch. This is Moloch from the Bible, Old Testament. Does that look like a fucking owl? No. This goes arms out, sitting down. This is Moloch. Totally different, not the same, very not the same. Anyway. Yeah, the Bushes are also from Texas. Like they're like, oh yeah, we're fucking hillbillies. Yeah, isn't hillbillies just but yeah, it's always like, so like what is it? Some kind of a it's a child sacrifice god, but these guys' arms out, the statues, which the fucking owl, the Bohemian Grove owl, doesn't even have arms.
The Saturday night initiation ceremony featuring the high...
But this is like the climax of the Alex Jones documentary, and he's like, this is crazy. What we've filmed has never before been seen. Meanwhile, 1972, Domhoff made this, was a lot more chill about it.
Priest and the owl. So now I want you to kind of sit back and relax, get yourself in a mood to see how the power elite and their supporting cast do summer camp. I'm going to take you through that...
Oh, so the Bushes are from Appalachia? Interesting. Didn't know that.
Opening ceremony. It's called the cremation.
So he doesn't have a film of it, but he gets it exactly right. In 72, and then in 2000, whatever, Jones gets the footage. But just like, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I won't interrupt, but I'll just let him do it. I'll just let him describe it.
Do summer camp. I'm going to take you through that opening ceremony. It's called the cremation of care, with care meaning the burdens and responsibilities that important men supposedly must carry. It takes a cast of over 250 elders, priests, torchbearers, fire tenders, and woodland voices to conduct the ceremony. So I want you to picture yourself comfortably seated in a beautiful outdoor dining hall. It's early evening, you've finished a sumptuous dinner, and you are sitting quietly with your drink. Out of the shadows on the nearby hillside, you see a line of men dressed in orange-red robes, wearing tall, pointed hats. Funeral music begins to play. You notice
KKK is there?
A few of the men are carrying an open coffin, and it contains a body. It's really an effigy, of course. It is Mr. Dullcare himself, who stands, as I said, for worries and concerns. And he's about to be sacrificed on a big bonfire. Well, as the funeral procession moves...
So they actually do, like, a sort of, like, sacrifice. It's not really a person, but it's like... It's supposed to be like a coffin that represents care. It's like the cremation of care. It's like caring about the outside world. It's like, well, you're here, you're carefree because we've ritually sacrificed them to Moloch. We've ritually sacrificed our worries. Ha ha, Hakuna Matata.
Just past the dining area, the rest of the men follow it down to the owl shrine by the lake and seat themselves to watch the cremation. First, a tree spirit comes out of a big redwood and sings about the beauty of the setting. And then the priest and his helpers come forward, and the priest speaks his flowery words for a few minutes. And then the body of Dullcare is put on the bonfire. The high priest criticizes Dullcare, calls him the archenemy of beauty. And he shouts, "Bring fire." But suddenly there's a great clap of thunder and a rush of wind. Peals of loud, ugly laughter come ringing down from a hill above the lake. A dead tree is illuminated in the middle of the hillside, and Care himself bellows forth with a thundering blast. He says, "Fools, fools, when will you learn that you cannot slay me?" And the high priest is very taken aback by this impressive outburst. And then Dullcare tells the high priest in no uncertain terms that priestly fires are not going to do him in. "I spit upon your fire," he roars. And with that, there's a great explosion, and all the torches are immediately extinguished. And the only remaining light comes from the lamp of fellowship at the base of the owl. So the priest turns to the owl. He falls to his knees, and he lifts up his arms towards the shrine, and he asks, "O great symbol of mortal wisdom, owl of Bohemia, grant us thy counsel." And the owl's head begins to glow, and the owl actually speaks. And he says that Dullcare is right. Fire can't kill Dullcare, at least not an ordinary fire. The only thing that can get rid of Dullcare is the fire from the lamp of fellowship, closeness. And of course the priest thinks, why didn't I think of that? And he runs over to the lamp of fellowship, he relights the torch, and he torches the bonfire. And an orchestra starts to play very inspirational music. Dullcare starts to wail and scream because, of course, he's on his way out. And the chorus begins to sing, and there's fireworks that go off. And then out comes a big brass band, and they're playing "There'll Be a Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight." And the guys get up, and they begin to cheer and jump around. They whoop and they holler.
You guys know this? Is that a song that people know? "There'll be a hot time in the old town tonight."
They have been freed by their priest to enjoy their encampment. It's like they're back in college, and there's a big fraternity bonfire. What's going on here in this cremation of care ceremony? Well, it's about a lot more than just...
All right, so that's how he describes the thing. Here's let's just for fun. I think I know how to find. I think I know how to find the part of Alex Jones's one where he. Oh no, evil. Oh God, there's gonna be a lot. Here we go. Yeah. So here's so that was just something that this university professor in the 70s was able to put together through like research, like talking to people who went there, reading about it, going back to older texts, using his academic connections. He worked with another guy while he was writing this book on Bohemian Grove. He worked with another guy who was writing a book at the same time on Bohemian Grove, and was able to put together that description of the cremation of care. Alex Jones in 2000 with, John Ronson, his unwilling collaborator, he actually sneaks into the Bohemian Grove and he films it. And so as you can see, like, this is a 2-hour documentary. They show this part right at the very end. But I find it kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely like really fucking cool footage. But fucking Domhoff got it like exactly right. And he just describes everything. In fact, if they listened to Domhoff before they did this, they might have known better where to point the camera, because I think they missed some shit where people come out of the trees and stuff. Oh, sorry. This is I have this on XXX speed. Let me bring it back down. Oh, great owl of Bohemia.
We thank thee for thy adjuration.
It's actually kind of lame to see it. Like, it sounded cooler when it was being described. You can sort of see, I'm just going to zoom in here. Those are the people in front of the fucking owl. The torch. They've got like a fucking orchestra. They got so much fucking money. How much money do you think this ceremony costs? Probably like millions of dollars. Be gone. So care, the dull care, is the name of the effigy that they're burning, because like it's all just about like, we're not gonna worry.
Once more, we banish thee.
And now we don't care.
Begone, dull care.
We don't give a
Fire
F.
shall have its will of thee.
Fire
Begone,
shall.
dull care.
Be gone.
And all the winds make merry with thy doubts. Hail fellowship's eternal flame.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, midsummer sets us free.
Okay, one guy there is drunk enough for this. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Joshua Mowdy. It serves to show a larger purpose, that this kind of working together and minds come together to create this to be remembered and participated in. Yeah, totally. And I think that's what Domhoff is saying. This sort of like ruling class cohesiveness. Like, it really is just basically a summer camp. Like, this is like some cool shit you do at summer camp, right? Like, if you went to a summer camp where you had enough money to do something like this. Yeah. All right, this is like long as fuck. Don't want to watch the entire thing. This is what I'm talking about. But fire alone is not enough to kill the beast. You must the fire of fellowship, right? Fire of fellowship, because we are the ruling class and we need to be a cohesive body. It's kind of boring to watch it without. Where's this friggin' sacrifice? Somewhere around here.
The picture was almost out of the screen, so that's the edge of the field or the view of the camera.
What is, huh? Hang on.
Search of the ritual you've just witnessed.
Okay, hang on.
Now we're going to get to some enhanced video, and we'll go play by play through some of the more occultic statements, like we shall read the sign in your burned effigy, the bound body. That's exactly what the Druids actually did. They would roast cats, goats, oxen, horses, and watch the pain of how they died, and from this extract some type of mystical energy force or power, and also be able to tell the future.
Crazy how calm Alex Jones sounded back then. It's kind of like listening to audio of RFK Jr. back before his voice was totally fucked, but it was still sort of getting there, and you can hear Alex Jones is not quite. oh, it's the fucking, they're doing the globalists. Blah, blah, blah. But he's almost there. He's like halfway step between a normal guy's voice and like, oh, but he's like, you gotta know. Yes, and he's not quite there. He's a little bit less gravelly, but you can hear the gravel starting to trickle down, you know?
Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel.
Upon further research of the ritual you've just witnessed.
So, okay, so we heard Domhoff being like, okay, this is like about brotherhood and blah, blah, blah. And it's, you know, oh, we can't banish the dull care with regular fire. We need the fire of fellowship. We need this, blah, blah, blah. But Alex Jones did his own research here, which you should always do. And here's what he came up with.
It becomes clear. It is a mixture of the Babylonian Canaanite cult of Moloch, fused with ancient Druidic rites, where you have the female side of Satan, which they first call out to in the she, and then towards the horn god with the he, mixed with Masonic rites from Scotland. It's very likely that many of the 1,500 to 2,000 member crowd had really no idea what they were actually watching because it was thinly veiled. Here we have some more enhanced video as the boatman, again with his face painted up like a skull, pulls his boat across the small...
Like, it's kind of lame, honestly. Like, it's not that cool, but like they want it to be cool. Like, I'm sure a lot of these guys got a kick out of watching Alex Jones's documentary about their evil deeds. It's like these guys are they do evil deeds. Like, these are the power elite, but it's just, this is not one of those things, you know. You know. Anyway, I just thought I find it's interesting to watch. But there is, you know, I did want to. Here's the part where they go into the sacrifice, and Alex Jones is I don't know, getting a little bit intense about it.
Throwing bodies into fiery pits after ritually cutting their hearts out or slitting their throats.
Oh, okay.
They talk about reading the sign in the burning effigy, reading the sign. Again, research your history books on the occult, even the Encyclopedia Britannica on what the Druids would engage in.
The limits of Alex Jones's research ability.
This is just unbelievably macabre and evil.
Yeah. Anyway, I always remember that line. This is unbelievably macabre and evil. Yeah, being lame is kind of a feature. Like, Jones can build it up as long as it's obscure. He can say anything and there's no actor to refute it. Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, it works for him. I think, you know, I've watched quite a bit of Alex Jones, not as much as some people, but I think that one of his main ideas about the elite, like I was saying, right, how people talk about the Bohemian Grove generally tells you what they think about the elite class in general and how they think the elite class functions. And Domhoff has a very, I would say, sophisticated and like smart academic understanding of the power elite, whereas Jones, if you watch a lot of his stuff, a lot of his beliefs about the world involve satanic, pagan rituals done by those who rule over us. Like, everyone, like all the politicians he doesn't like are actually, they worship Satan. They sacrifice children to eldritch gods. Like, that is, like, it is a, it's an almost childlike understanding of the world, but it goes to some very dark places. It's why Alex Jones was so enthusiastic about Pizzagate, is that, you know, with the Marina Abramovich stuff, it absolutely fed into his ideas. Same with the way he interpreted Bohemian Grove and the cremation of care. This is his understanding of the elite. So, of course, when he looks at Bohemian Grove, he will see this shit. And, you know, I feel like it's understandable from that perspective, but it's also frustrating because Alex Jones's perspective, it was the one that really took off. At least with people who know what Bohemian Grove is, I think a lot more of them are familiar with Alex Jones than would be familiar with Domhoff. But anyway, it's just interesting to to see both the perspectives on the cremation. Let's continue on.
Excluding women. It's about excluding everybody else. It's an invitation into an in-group. It's an initiation into a very exalted kind of status. The fact that the ceremony is so spectacular tells these men that they are very special in the world. The fact that it's been done the same way since 1929 when the statue was first built tells them the world is timeless, that tradition has made it so their place in life is very, very secure. The cremation of care is only the beginning of the entertainment at the Bohemian Grove. There's going to be concerts, there's going to be other plays, there's going to be trap shooting, there's going to be swimming, there's going to be nature walks, and a whole lot more. The second most extravagant performance at the
summer camp. It literally is a summer camp for the powerful.
Grove is what's called the hijinks. It's a very eloquent kind of play that tells us about the timelessness of
this part sounds so lame. Just wait.
Things, once again, and about tradition. There's also a play that's...
So yeah, I don't who built the statue? I'm not sure if Domhoff gets into this here, but the Bohemian Club's origins was like they were originally like a bunch of poor artists, bohemians. And they started this club, and then at one point one of the members like moved to New York or something, and they had a going away party for him in the woods. And then that eventually, like, they were like, let's do this every year. Let's do this big party in the woods every year. And so they started doing that. And then rich people started getting invited. And rich people were like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool, you guys. And there's like a cool owl. Oh, we got to get more people involved. And then they started bringing more rich people in. And then the artists were kind of like, this is getting weird. And, eventually now it's basically all rich people. And they can afford to buy like a giant stone owl. Whereas before they probably had, I don't know, they probably had like an actually cool version of that like ceremony. But yeah, it's they literally, they put on plays, they let their inner theater kid out. It literally is that. Yeah. Like that's what it is. It's just funny. Like, so in order to be in the Bohemian Grove, you either have to be like a rich Republican, or they do bring in artists. They do bring in like poor, maybe probably not like poor, but like not incredibly wealthy artists and like playwrights and whatever, acting coaches, actors, musicians. You can get hired in, kind of like the guy that plays piano in Eyes Wide Shut, right? Like they do have to hire these people because they don't know how to do any of this shit. So they have to hire professionals in order to put on these hijinks and low jinks and these plays and activities that they do. I mean, yeah. So those are the ways you can become a what's the word? Member of the Bohemian Club. I think it was more along the lines of rich networking for business and future endeavors. Yes, it's definitely a big part of it is networking, as Domhoff would say, class cohesion. But there is a rule that you're not supposed to talk about work. You actually aren't supposed to discuss business while you're there. That's why they have the cremation of care, the cares of the world. It's supposed to be, we're just having fun. Don't talk about work. Plus everyone's hammered drunk the whole time. But they do, like, I'm sure you'd go there and you'd be like hanging out with some other CEO or politician or something, and you'd have a fucking awesome time together. And then after the Bohemian Grove, you're like, yo, I should call that guy up and maybe we can actually do business together. So there is a meshing of Domhoff's two like circles here between the social upper class, which is what Bohemian Grove really is, and then the overlap with the executives and the probably not so much the policy planning network, but like with the social upper class and the corporate community, we're getting into like this kind of circle here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but yeah, this is kind of how it works, right? Let's continue.
Put on that's called the Low Jinks. It's a musical comedy. That play spoofs some aspect of society or spoofs the elite themselves. Sometimes those plays get to be a little bit.
Who are all these people? I do not recognize anybody, but I guess these are all like members of the Bohemian Club. So probably some of these guys are powerful.
raunchy. Since they exclude women from the Grove, men of themselves have to play these parts.
So, of course, because there's no women, so there's a lot of drag. And, of course, this gets picked up on by some of the, I would say the more bigoted of the conspiracy movement. Not everybody who gets into conspiracies is transphobic, but I feel like probably a lot, though. But yeah, no, this is just what you got to do if you're gonna have a play where at a place you don't invite women at.
Parts as women, the men.
Yeah. This documentary's from. Actually, it says it's from 1994. Oh, okay, but so it's from 1994. His book is from 1974. But yeah, these photos do look old.
You get quite a kick out of talking about who's going to play these various women's parts. And it's precisely in these parts, because they're kind of walk-on parts, that they're most likely to use the most prestigious men in the Bohemian Grove. Now, you might say to yourself, how do busy and important men of the kind I claim go to the Grove, how do they have time to practice for such a play? And the answer is that they don't. They aren't playing the major roles. This is one of the things that makes the Bohemian Club so unique. It has a whole set of people called associate members.
Associate members, that's who I was mentioning earlier.
Who are really performing members. These are artists and writers and singers and even a few professors. And they get into the club for reduced dues, and then they are the ones that play the major role in putting on this huge amount of entertainment at the Bohemian Grove. Now, this turns out to be a great deal for both the rich and the powerful and for these artistic members. On the one side, the artistic members get to be members of a club that's far more elegant and higher status than they could ever belong to on their own. You get to take their friends there and to enjoy things. But they also make contacts there. One person I interviewed said to me that he made many contacts for his band to play at weddings and other kinds of ceremonies for wealthy people. Some of the artists sell their work to the wealthy bohemians at the Bohemian Grove. On the other side of the equation, the rich bohemians
that makes sense.
Have the possibility of saying, hey, I know a lot of artists. I'm hip to what's going on in the world today. Well, once again, we stop our story to ask, what's going on here? Now, if we ask the men, they'll say they're just out for a little R&R. But if we scratch the surface, we'll find them saying, hey, it's a great place to meet new people. It's a great place to renew acquaintances. Great place to bring your son to meet the gang. It's also
definitely something the Bushes did. H.W. Bush, as well as I want to say even H.W.'s father. Was it Prescott Bush, something like that? Who actually was involved in a conspiracy to help the Nazis that a bunch of billionaires were in the U.S. were involved in during World War II. This is something that, a lot of people who, it's not just that, former presidents go there. Future presidents go here. People who want to become the Republican nominee, they go there. Mm-hmm. Clinton specifically never has gone to Bohemian Grove. He's a Democrat. They don't allow Democrats there. They have... There's a funny clip, actually. I wonder if I can find it real quick, of someone asking Bill Clinton about Bohemian Grove, and he's like, "What? Bohemian Grove?" Sorry, that's not a good that's not a good impression. Sorry, what am I looking for? Oh yes, Bill Clinton, Bohemian Grove. Here it is.
What do you want me to talk about?
Yeah.
A fraud?
9/11, blah, 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 so.
Fraud? No, it wasn't a fraud, but I'll be glad to talk to you if you'll shut up and let me talk. Now.
I like the caption here. Bill Clinton gets asked about the Bohemian Grove Club that he and other elites attend. Bill Clinton, you're okay, conspiracy guys. You're right about the Epstein stuff with Bill Clinton. At least, some of it. Bohemian Grove, they don't allow Democrats.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a couple of stories about fraud.
There you go. Bohemian Grove. Talk about Bohemian Grove.
The Bohemian Club. As you say, the Bohemian Club? That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right?
Well, yeah. You gotta know what conspiracies the guy's involved in. Okay? He's not involved in the Bohemian Club. He was not involved in 9/11. That was after him. Ask him about Epstein.
I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
Famous Clinton wit. No, I mean, I respect the guy standing up and asking him questions, though, because that guy deserves to sweat a little bit, but it's just like, no, but yeah, tell us about Epstein, though, you know? Just kind of a funny response, though. You mean that place Republicans stand butt naked against the redwood trees? Something like that. But yeah.
Great place to bring a rising executive or indeed a political protege. In other words, what's developing here is social cohesion. These men are becoming tight with each other. And I think social cohesion matters a great deal because otherwise they're just a collection of rich individuals. They don't have the ability to coordinate and have influence on government. Now, we're going to come back to that point a little later when we talk about the power structure as a whole. But
oh, yeah. No, totally. It was a quite legitimate question. Shouldn't have been removed. I mean, Clinton didn't seem to mind. He was like, I mean, it was an opportunity for him to look cool because he had the quick comeback or whatever. But, you know, what are you going to do? You always got to be expect that you'll be removed if you interrupt a thing like that. You know, whether it's to ask about money from Israel or speak up about, you know, why didn't you do anything about the genocide? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you blah, blah, blah? Or if it's like, hey, tell us about 9/11. You're going to get thrown out. Is it right? No, it's not right. Discussion wasn't even bad. Clinton handled it. I mean, yeah, Clinton did handle it. Clinton did handle it. Man, remember when we had Democrats like that? Actually, were good politicians. Ugh, God. I like when I say good politician, I just mean he's like a skilled, sharp guy. I don't mean his policies are good at all or he's a good person. But like hard to deny the political talent. Honestly, like fucking most skilled politicians I've seen in my life, probably Obama. Like, I gotta say Trump, Clinton, and I mean, now I'm thinking Zoran in New York. Like, I'm just kind of blown away because you see Zoran debating Cuomo, and it's like, oh wow, like Cuomo actually doesn't know what he's doing. Cuomo is not good at this, but almost none of them are. Almost none of them have the juice. It's pretty rare. Pretty rare that we get people like that. Putin, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't speak Russian, so I'm sure I'm missing out on a lot of the charm. But like, yeah, I mean, he seems to be pretty good at what he does. He's good at political maneuvering anyway. Obama definitely, like the way that I look at it, I think Obama is probably the best one. You know. Politically, Zoran's up there too, but like, I mean, Obama had to he became president as a black guy, so he had to be like the coolest, most likable black guy of all time, but also he couldn't look weak. He had to look strong, but not like strong so he was scary. Blah 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 blah. You know, he was fucking good as a politician. Again, I don't like the guy. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a bad person. But yeah, no, it's interesting. Anyway, let's keep going.
But here I just want to say to you that there is a lot of research that's been done on cohesion in small groups. And that research tells us that there are 4 key points in a group developing tight social cohesion. I want you to notice how well each of these points fits.
And this is almost like an entire class building cohesion, right? Like the elite class. It's like, what do we have in common? We are both billionaire, whatever, titans of industry, old money, new money, but we have the same mutual interests. And now we are friends because we both pissed at the same tree in Bohemian Grove.
The Bohemian Grove. The first point is...
Oh, I mean, McConnell is a skilled maneuverer. Absolutely. But not a good, like, speaker. You know? He doesn't have that charisma. He doesn't have the riz. You know what I mean? It's really interesting, though. Yeah. Trump really seems to be, and this is where I had to sort of, like, I had to admit I was wrong about Trump, where at first I was like, this guy's a fucking idiot. He's so bad at this, right? He's not smart. He's not blah, blah, blah. But this is so true. No Republican has even been able to vaguely copy Trump's unique reality TV touch. Like, I think the reality TV is a big part of it, but I think there's more. I think there's like a natural fucking, like, he's got some fucking magic. Like, there's like it's like an X factor, you know? He's got that it. He's got that je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean? Like Trump, like Riz wise, yes. I would include Trump there. I think Barack, yeah. I think I would have to put Barack number 1. But yeah, no, McConnell, like, so smart. Like, he's a real fucking, like, he's like almost like a Karl Rove type, except for he's actually a politician. Or he's like a kind of a genius, like, fucking maneuverer. And he's like, oh, we got to get these people on the Supreme Court, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. And here's how we're going to do it. Trump doesn't do that. You know, you got to have your Trumps and your McConnells in order to get the fucking abortion, overthrow Roe v. Wade. But yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, definitely. There is definitely something about all the gay guys that he hung out with at, like, fucking, what's it called? Studio 60 or whatever. And like at all these Roy Cohn parties he used to go. Trump is always doing drag. All right, let's continue.
Is that if people are in close...
Try to pause it less. Only 12 minutes through, and I'd like to finish it. It's only a half hour. Let's keep going.
Physical proximity, they develop social cohesion. And there's plenty of physical proximity at the Bohemian Grove. Secondly, the more people interact, the more they develop social cohesion. And that's all that these people are doing at the Bohemian Grove, is interacting, drinking and interacting, I should say. Thirdly, groups that are seen as very high in status are groups that develop tight social cohesion. And of course that fits the Bohemian Grove perfectly. You don't ask to join, they ask you. The whole thing is about excluding certain people, and other people get to go to this fancy retreat. Fourth, social cohesion develops best in an atmosphere of relaxation and cooperation. And once again, that fits the Bohemian Club to a T. So if we're going to draw a little sociological lesson here, we say social cohesion is developing at the Bohemian Grove. Well, so far we've got it. There's entertainment at the Grove, and there's social cohesion at the Grove. Is there anything else? After all, these people are businessmen. 25 to 35% of the people who are there are directors and managers of major corporations, and lots of the other people are...
25% of the people at Bohemian Grove are managers and executives of the big corporations. So, again, we're looking at these, you know, the executives, the CEOs, the corporate community angle of the power elite here, mingling, and, you know, actually at that point, if you're in the corporate community and you go to Bohemian Grove, you're effectively part of now the social upper class. You're a socialite or a jet setter, so you're already at least in this, you know, part of the circle here. Let's continue.
Are in smaller businesses as well. So don't they talk business while they're there at the Bohemian Grove? Aren't they cutting deals? Well, yeah, sort of. But what we have to remember is they've had a lot to drink. And they couldn't remember the details of a deal if they had to. What's going on is something else. A very wealthy man who had read my book on the Bohemian Grove once said to me, you know, I was at that Bohemian Grove as a guest a couple years ago, and he said, I want you to know I didn't talk business once while I was up there. And he paused and he says to me, but I did make some great appointments for later that led to some wonderful deals. And then, of course, he had a big laugh. Now, probably isn't much business then going on.
But that's exactly the fucking thesis of Domhoff's work, you fool. That's what he was saying.
Going on up there. But they do write this trip off as a business expense. And I have one memo.
Oh, man, Joshua Moody. The house they fell out on was meant to be theirs as a couple. But Donald Glover, the Russian, well, yeah. Was it the Russian that he sold the place to 2 years later? Cool. Honestly, like, if I got invited, man, like, I mean, fuck all these people, but, like, I would go. If they're like, come here, we want someone to make, like, a overly long video essay. We'll give you a reduction on dues. I'd be like, okay. All right, Mr. George Bush, sir, I'll do it.
Purloined from a wonderful student from a file where a corporate lawyer details for his firm all the people he's had as guests at the Grove in the last few years, and why he therefore should be able to continue to deduct 1/3 of his expenses when he goes to the Bohemian Grove from his taxes, or be paid back by the firm as a business expense. In other words, we don't call these people a corporate rich for nothing. These people live off the corporation as much as they live off of their own salaries. Well, if there's not much business going on up there, there is a lot of politicking going on. And that politicking takes place primarily around what are called the lakeside talks, where the speaker stands on a podium that looks with his back to the lake, looking out towards the men that are sitting on the bank. And each afternoon, there's one of these talks. During the week, the talk might be by an artist, it might be by a professor, it might be by a business person. The talks vary a great deal in their substance. One year, they had an astronaut speak, for example, and telling how it was to be way up there. But on Friday...
Obviously, rich people fucking love space. Everybody wants to go to space.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the talks get heavier. They're more likely, much more likely, to be about politics. And they'll involve some of the most important people in the world giving the talk. The Prime Minister.
And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are because a lot of people don't stay during the week. A lot of people, whatever, they go back to their families. The weekends are when, like, the population at Bohemian Grove goes up to the max. So it's interesting then that the Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday nights is when they do the talks about politics. Because this group, again, I'm going to show the fucking diagram over here. This group also intersects with the Policy Planning Network. They are all very interested in politics. Nope, wrong video.
Minister of Germany, Prime Minister of France, former President of Mexico in 1992 spoke on the importance of passing NAFTA. There's also presidents and former presidents and future presidents that have spoken at the Bohemian Grove. And the first example I want to give you involves General Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1950. And this example is told to us by Richard Nixon, who was to be Ike's vice president just 2 years later, in his autobiography. And the story goes as follows. Later that day, Eisenhower spoke at the beautiful Lakeside Amphitheater. It was not a polished speech, says Nixon, but he delivered it without notes, and he had the good sense not to speak too long. The only line that drew significant applause was his comment that he did not see why anyone who refused to sign a loyalty oath should have the right to teach in a state university. After his speech, we went back to caveman camp and sat around the campfire appraising it. And of course, right there, you see one of the functions of the Bohemian Grove. Well, it was a lakeside talk in 1967 that was enormously important to Nixon himself in his bid for the presidency.
Yeah. We'll look at his Nixon's other quotes, but this is his positive quote about it.
He says his speech at the Grove was the start of his comeback, and once again I'm quoting Nixon. If I were to choose the speech that gave me the most pleasure and satisfaction in my political life, wrote Nixon, it would be my lakeside speech at the Bohemian Grove. Because this speech traditionally was off the record, It received no publicity at the time, but in many ways it marked the first milestone on my road to the presidency. It gave me an unparalleled opportunity to reach some of the most important and influential men, not just from California, but from across the country. Then there's the speeches by...
Yeah, quite interesting. I believe on the Wikipedia page, hang on, for Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove. It even has this quote. Oh, hang on. Nixon. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's the Owl's Nest. Remember, that's where Reagan's at? So who we got here? Dunno. That's Reagan. There's Nixon. Who do we got here? So Ronald Reagan, Harvey Hancock, Preston Hotchkiss, Richard Nixon, Glenn T. Seaborg. All right. Jack Sparks, Kevin Winter, unidentified individual, Edwin W. Pauley. Okay, I didn't know almost any of those guys. But anyway, yeah. But no, that was not the thing I wanted to get of Nixon. Yeah. So here's the quote from Nixon that he's not reading. The Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time, it is the most F-slurry goddamn thing you could ever imagine with that San Francisco crowd. Awesome. So he didn't it's the most important thing of his life, but he does not care for their, cremation of dull care.
Ex-presidents, like the speech that Ronald Reagan gave in 1989. Those speeches are more likely to have a lighter touch. For example, Reagan began with a kind of a joke. He said that there are three things that he's learned about growing older. He said the first was that you tend to forget. Then he paused, and then he said, I can't remember the other two. And of course, everyone laughed. The whole speech was about on that particular level. But the next speech that I want to mention in 1993 was anything but light. It was by a former Secretary of Treasury, and it was an all-out attack on George Bush, contrasting his terrible presidency with the wonderful presidency of Ronald Reagan. And George Bush had to sit there and listen to the whole talk. The next day, Bush's former Secretary of State, James Baker, defended Bush, but he spent most of his time attacking the Clinton administration, as did most of the other speakers that year. Well, for the whole 20th century, from Teddy Roosevelt on, every Republican president has been either a member or a guest at the Bohemian Grove. So it's a place of significant politics. But there's been no Democratic president.
Wait. Let me hear that again. Say that again, Domhoff.
That year. Well, for the whole 20th century, from Teddy Roosevelt on.
For the whole 20th century.
Every Republican president has been either a member or a guest at the Bohemian Grove.
Every Republican president has been either a member or a guest at the Bohemian Grove. I think that remained true in the 21st century, except for Trump. I don't think Trump was a member of the Bohemian Grove.
So it's a place of significant politics. But there's been no Democratic president who's been a member or a guest at the Bohemian Grove. There are a few Bohemians who have served in the cabinets of Democratic presidents, and there have been a few members of Democratic administrations that have gone to the Grove to give lakeside talks. But by and large, the members are Republicans. Of those who give money to campaigns, 95% of them give to Republicans, and on average, they give twice as much as the Democratic members give. Oh my goodness, does that mean the Democrats really are the party of liberals and minorities and low-income people?
Now he's having fun with it. Now he's doing some video editing stuff. What am I looking at here? Welcome to the Bohemian Grove. No girls allowed. Reagan Eisenhower. Is that supposed to be Nixon? He's put himself on the Mount Rushmore. Cool.
That they really are the party of the common person? Nope, sorry.
No, you moron. See, this is what I like Domhoff. He's like he's good. He basically is like both parties suck, but as you may have noticed from the cover of my other Domhoff book, Who Rules America, he says, the corporate rich, white nationalist Republicans, and inclusionary Democrats. So this is this is much more recent, right? This was updated in 2021, I think it was. And he's like, yeah, the Republican Party is, both parties are conservative. The Republican Party is now much more white nationalist than it's ever been before. And the Democrats are inclusionary, as in that they allow Black people and women and blah, blah, et cetera, to be members, but they only will let in the Black people who believe all the same things as the whatever corporate elites want them to believe. It's I don't know. It's an interesting analysis, I think. But no, I just like how he does like the dumb guy voice. He does like the Jim Gaffigan, like, I don't know why he's talking so much about hot pockets. He's like, oh, wow, so does that mean that Democrats are the good ones? Nope, they're bad too.
Oh my goodness, does that mean the Democrats really are the party of liberals and minorities and low-income people? That they really are the party of the common person? Nope, sorry, at least not yet. They're the party of the fringe groups within the power elite. Historically, that means
the fringe groups within the power elite.
Plantation elites in the South, and today, of course, that means big business people and agribusiness people in the South. From states like Georgia, where Jimmy Carter is from, or Arkansas, where Bill Clinton is from, or Texas, where Lyndon Johnson was from.
Yeah, I mean, are there any Democratic congresspeople? Wonder for Larry Summers. I mean, I don't know. I think he said that sometimes Democrats will have members of the Bohemian Grove on their cabinets. I wonder if there's like a list of known members. Oh, geez, there's a bunch of members, facilities. They have a list of the camps. Cremation of Care, Grove Play. Oh, okay, great. List of Bohemian Club members. All right. Okay, well, I mean, this isn't like everybody, but let's see. Summers. Nope. No Summers. Let's just scroll down here quick, see if we see anybody we know. Charles Bunchu, George H.W. Bush, Norton Bush, Giuseppe Canascasso, Warren Christopher, Charles Coburn, Joseph Coors. Okay, I don't see anybody here that I even know. A lot of names. Maynard Dixon, William Henry Draper. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I guess I'd have to, Harry Stewart Fonda. Is that guy related to Jane Fonda? American painter. Oh, maybe he was one of the artist members. The, what are they called? The other type of member he mentioned. Jacob Fuller. Newt Gingrich. Cool. So I feel like this wouldn't even be a fun group of people to hang out with. This is like the world's largest Nightmare Blunt rotation. Yeah. Herbert Hoover. That's another president there, right? Yeah. The 31st president from 1929 to 1933. Every single president of the 20th century. Think about that, guys. Every single Republican president, rather. And none of the Democrats. Jack London. Oh, the novelist. Okay. James McDonald. Sorry, I don't know if this is fun to watch me scroll down a list and like kind of skim it. George S. Nixon. Richard Nixon. Edwin Pauley. Richard E. Queen. Ronald Reagan. William Henry Rhodes. Oh, Schwarzenegger. Awesome. Kevin Starr. Okay, now. George Sterling. George Sterling. Cool. Wallace Sterling. Trying to. Okay, we're coming down to the end here. I don't know. Oh yeah, Kissinger, of course. Yeah, I mean, I like Kissinger certainly served on, like, worked for Democrats as well, right? Like Kissinger was, one of the only Jewish ones as well. Kissinger was the George Sterling has a Gen Z haircut. But yeah, no, Kissinger was like the DEI hire. I want to see George Sterling. George Sterling was an American writer based in the San Francisco, California Bay Area. Is that a Gen Z haircut? He looks like Spock. This is what the kids look like these days? All right. Okay. Anyway, a little distraction there. I didn't exactly notice anybody there. Maybe I should know. I gotta get to know my elites, I guess. But when a lot of conspiracy theorists talk about it, they'll be like, "It's the Rothschilds and the fucking like," just to name a bunch of Jewish people, and you're like, none of those guys are in it. None of them are. You know. All right, let's keep going. Wait, Tennessee Ernie Ford is on that list? Seriously? Are you serious? What? I missed them. Oh my God. You load 16 tons. What do you get? An invitation to the Bohemian Grove set. That don't make sense. That ain't make no sense. This guy's supposed to be cool. All right, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about his life. I just know that I like his version of 16 tons. Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can go all my soul to the Moloch statue.
But the party's also supported by the non-Protestant rich in the North, the kinds of people that are excluded by the waspy people that go to the Bohemian Grove.
Okay, so the Grove is like even more waspy than the power elite as general is.
Well, that just about ends our saga of the Bohemian Grove, but I don't want to conclude without giving you that larger picture that I talked about a little bit earlier. I don't want to leave you with the impression that the Bohemian Grove is at the heart of the power elite.
I love the the creative choice to put himself in this. I love this.
Instead, I want to say to you that we can use our study of the Bohemian Grove to reach out to study other social clubs, because
going on for a really long time.
These men, these bohemians, on average, are in 3 or 4 other social clubs. So it's very easy for us then to figure out the nationwide social networks of big business clubs. But we don't stop just there. We also add policy planning groups, organizations where business people join with experts to discuss the issues of the day and to plan what they want to do in reaction to those issues. These are organizations like the Committee for Economic Development and the Conference Board and the Business Council and the Business Roundtable.
So these are groups that he's naming here. He talks a lot about these in his book, Who Rules America. These would be, the boards of directors and the boards of trustees in the corporate community and policy planning network. Like the Business Roundtable is an incredibly powerful group that has, if you look at all the people on that, whatever, trustee board, and you look at what other boards they sit on, and you look at all that, like that is much more relevant to, like, how people are always say, like, oh, the people, this is where they plan they're going to control the world. No. Bohemian Grove is not where they plan how they control the world. That's ridiculous. Don't be conspiratorial. The Business Roundtable, though, that is where that stuff happens. This is just about class cohesion. The Bohemian Grove is about like really high upper class, waspy, patriarchal, male social cohesion. You're thinking of the policy planning network. You're thinking of the other circle. And it's over. And certainly, yeah, it overlaps with the social upper class, but, you know, not necessarily at Bohemian Grove.
And the Council on Foreign Relations. And what we do is we take all of the interlocking members, we call them interlocking overlappers for short, and we put them into our computer, and we mush them all around with very sophisticated statistical techniques that...
This is the coolest thing that Domhoff does. I wish he kept this updated.
I really don't quite understand myself. And when we're done, we have what's called a centrality score. That is that the more that a group is in the center of the power structure, the higher its score is. The more its score approaches 100, the more central it is.
So are you catching this? Sorry, maybe I talked over this a little bit, but he's saying like his field of study, his power network relationsology, whatever it is. I really should learn what the fuck the name of his particular field is. Sociology. Come on, what is it? Academia, sociology, ownership. Oh, I just want to know the name of the fucking specific area of sociology it is. Power structure. Sociology and power structure. I don't know, something like that. But so what he does is, remember from this thing where we were looking at all these boards of directors on different corporate boards. Like just from this one guy, Paul Garcia, he's at United Health. He's connected to MetLife, General Electric, Walmart, JP Morgan Chase, PepsiCo. Like there's all this thing. But what you can do is, once you have all of these names, you can figure out, well, how many overlaps are there between all these different things? And you can realize, damn, like, let's say General Electric has so many fucking, General Electric has like the most connections out of anyone. Well, then that means it gets a high score. It gets like 100 score on like the Domhoff meter. So he looks into all these things. He looks into, this is called theyrule.net. And yeah, you can move around. I guess you can even move the different nodes on it. But you can be like, well, who else? What about you? What about you? What about you? You can do your own kind of exploring. But like what Domhoff does is he actually gets the score here. Let's see, on his website, the Power Elite database. Search the Power Elite data. It's old. Articles and analysis. But yeah, it's not. So this will search from 2010 to 2011. That's the most up to date version they have. The Fortune 500. And so that's everyone on the like all of the top 500 companies in the US. And all of their boards of directors. So, remember the, this thing, as well as the top, what did it say? The top 93 nonprofits. So that's the bottom right, the policy planning network. Enter a person's name. I mean, I don't know. Bill Gates. Your search found no results. That can't be right. What if I put Microsoft? No results. What? Oh, sorry. Okay, I guess I got to put it in organization. Let's say Microsoft. There we go. So we've got the board of directors here, the CEO, category, and then we've got, here's Gates. Oh, it's because I didn't search William H. Gates III. Sorry. But, and you've got all the organizations he's a part of. And then over here, you have their rank, right? And the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is apparently the number one ranked out of the top 93 nonprofits, I suppose. And that makes sense because they actually have done a lot of fucking shit to change shit. They did a lot of shit for charter schools. They've done a lot of shit for how aid gets distributed to Africa. During COVID, Bill Gates demanded that there be IP laws put on shit. Yeah, so their rank is just connectivity. Like, you know, it only can measure the connectivity that's available in this data set. Obviously, that isn't like the total connectivity, whatever. You could be connected in a lot of ways that wouldn't show up on these data sets. But I think it is very interesting that there's so many. Like, let's look at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So this is the number one foundation, I guess. And look at all these people. Like all of these people here. Warren Buffett is on the board here, and Berkshire Hathaway is the number 11 most connected corporation. Yeah, I was actually Stubbins. I was like, this is kind of what I was asking you on the Discord about. Like, yeah, would it be possible to use like wiki data and like the fucking what's it called, Sparkle, Crackle stuff? The like that coding thing that automatically gets all the data and can create charts for you and shit. Would there be a way to combine, you know, all of that shit with all of this shit? And basically what I'm trying to find out is is there a way we can use all that data to make an updated version of this list? Or even better than that, like a list that just automatically stays updated because of the wiki data? Because like, it's so lame that this is from 2011. Like, I want to know what it's like right now. But yeah, I think so. Actually, let's look at Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Club? No, Bohemian Grove? Oh, it's not on there? Damn it. Well, okay. I just know from reading this book, Who Rules America, where he goes, I don't know if I could find it off of the top of my head here, but there's a couple points where he lists out, like the actual list, the top 20 whatever most connected social clubs, and Bohemian Grove isn't even like in the top 5. The number one most connected social club in America, at least as recently as 2021, is, I know off the top of my head, but it would be cool if I could find it. But then again, I just have to hold it up to the camera and it might be hard to read anyway. Maybe I'll give up. But the number one social club, does anyone want to guess it? The number one social club in America for as far as connectivity with the power elite is the Links. I think that there is even I think he even mentions it on this website in the thing about Bohemian Grove. 1 second. Dealy. Power structure, power elite database. It's funny. All his books are like available for free on his website. This guy's awesome. Yeah, the Bohemian Grove and other retreats. Let me links. Yes. Oh, here we go. Okay, check it out. So the centrality rankings of 30 organizations. The Business Council. Okay, Policy Planning Group. So remember the bottom right circle. Committee for Economic Development. Policy Planning Group. The number one social club. The Links Club. This is a golf course. This is an exclusive golf course. Bohemian Club is number 11. Social club. The centrality score is 6.62, which is pretty good. Like, that's a pretty good score. But the Links Club, and apparently he says there's a very good article Domhoff recommends. That this is an article about the Links Club, the world's most exclusive golf club. And And it's this guy, I've just returned from one of the most elite golf clubs in the world. I've been trying for years to visit this club and finally succeeded through the generosity of my favorite wasp. You won't find the links. The club is called the Links, not the Links Club. Okay, it's not called the Links Club. It's just called the Links. Don't fuck it. That's how you know you'll never get an invite if you start saying the Links Club. Yeah, Council on Foreign Relations is definitely up there. Number 6. Number 6 on this list, and that's a policy planning group, 0.68. So again, you look at the people on the board, and you look at how many boards they sit on. You know, you eventually come up with there's some math involved, and you get a score at the end of the day. I find this shit so cool. Like, I just like how Domhoff he's different from a lot of more conspiratorial guys who talk about shit like this. Like Alex Jones is just like, you just gotta trust me. They're sacrificing evil devils or whatever. They're the evil demons. They're trying to fucking kill people, whatever. Whatever. Whereas Domhoff is like, yeah, no, there is a social class that rules the world, not on a individual level, but as a group, they ensure that their interests are the ones that are carried out, and they make sure that any politician that becomes in power does their things that they want them to do. That's what they do that. But at the same time, it's all very out in the open. Like, I think he says that, like, that's something I heard him say in a lot of interviews. He's like, oh yeah, I know. It's not like hidden. Like, you can look up, like, you can find out all this information very easily. And he just sort of shows it to you. He's like, yeah, look, like, and these are the types of proposals that the PPN, the Policy Planning Network, puts forward. And look at the laws that get passed. Like, it's actually really out in the open. Like, a lot of laws come directly from them. Like, people got so furious about Project 2025. And I mean, to be fair, that it was a horrifying, list of policies designed by, like, theocratic, fascists at the fucking Opus Dei church. Really, really horrible, disgusting shit. But that is kind of how laws work in general, is they just get passed off to some lazy politician from a organization or a think tank or, some kind of group like that. Foundation. It's nuts. It's nuts. Anyway, sorry. All right, let's watch the end of this.
That a group is in the center of the power structure, the higher its score is. The more its score approaches 100, the more central it is. And when we do that study, we find that the Bohemian Club is low, only number 11 in our power structure, as you're now going to see on the screen. 3 other clubs were...
Funny that I just looked that up. Didn't need to do that. I could have just waited 3 seconds.
More central. The Lynx Club of New York at number 3, the Pacific Union Club of San Francisco at number 7, and the Chicago Club of Chicago at number 8. But notice what's right up there at the top. Policy discussion groups like the Business Council with a score of 95, and the Committee for Economic Development at 91. Far more central than any other club or group. That's the heart of the American power.
95 is crazy. 95. The Business Council. Like, that's one... Conspiracy theorists know about a lot of these. Obviously, the Bohemian Club. They know about the Century Club. They know about the Council on Foreign Relations. They know about the Committee for Economic Development. They know about that. But I don't often hear them talk about the Business Council, and that's the number one. That's number one.
Our elite. And those organizations, in turn, tie to hundreds of major corporations. And it's right here that we can reinforce another role that's played by a place like the Bohemian Grove, with another finding from small group research on social psychology. Because that research shows that socially cohesive groups are the ones in which members are more likely to pay attention to the opinions of other members and more likely to change their opinions to those of the rest of the group. In other words, my key point is that social cohesion is one of the things that makes policy cohesion possible. It's not just enough that
social cohesion is one of the things that makes policy cohesion possible. Right? If the elite, social upper class didn't feel united in this way, they wouldn't be able to have this network of people sitting on boards of directors and trustees in both the corporate and the policy planning sectors here. This part at the top is like the glue. Like, this is an essential element, and that is a part of what the Bohemian Club offers.
to say that these people are all business people. They're in different businesses. They live in different parts of the country. They may not trust each other. Social cohesion is one of the things that makes it possible for them to talk about policies in these organizations like the Committee for Economic Development and the Council on Foreign Relations. And that's the emphasis that I want to have for the Bohemian Grove. But hey, if we're going to get down and academic about all this, I can't leave out our really big and complex and juicy quantitative study of our whole corporate network. What if we put
a little bit of anticlimactic sentence there. I can't leave out our big and dramatic and juicy study, our quantitative accounting. It's just like, oh, okay. I thought you had like a fucking crazy photo of Reagan in a dress or something.
See this? I can't leave out our really big and complex and juicy quantitative study of our whole corporate network. What if we put in all the corporations, 10 or 12 major universities, 20 major law firms, civic associations, policy groups, foundations that give money for research and so on?
Yeah, do it.
What do we get?
Yeah, what do we get?
Well, the answer's been staring at you right behind me. We find that right square in the center with a
Wow, look at that. IBM. Look at that. IBM has a 100? Like, that's the highest you could possibly get?
Neutrality score of 100 is old IBM.
What?
Followed by a couple of those policy groups, followed by a couple more big corporations. But you'll notice there's also a university in there at number 7. You see
Yale University is number 7. Wow.
Yale University. And right there at number 10, or is it number 11, you see the Rockefeller Foundation, one of the organizations that gives money to universities and to policy.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. IBM, definitely has fallen off since then. But still, a score of 100? You literally could not be more influential.
Discussion group.
According to Domhoff's, theory here.
And down a little further, down about number 19, you see another policy organization called the Council on Foreign Relations. So, did you ever doubt me when I said that anything of importance was linked up with the big corporations in the United States? Isn't it right there in the numbers? Isn't this practically an exact science that I'm talking about here? Well, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to connect that big corporate network to government. And after 15 or 20 years of research,
and that's what I'm talking about. We're getting the government in on it now. We're adding a new fucking variable to our data set.
Hey, that's a piece of cake. And so what you see behind me is a mind-boggling Rube Goldberg diagram that encompasses the whole power structure. And
this is so funny, eh? Like, this is like, literally, this is the same thing that like conspiracy theorists do, right? This is the bulletin board with the strings and the Polaroids hanging off of it. But it's like, has a much more, sociological, like academic basis to it. But I just think it's so interesting. Like I kind of collect things like this, actually. Like I have a few of them hanging up because I just find it so cool, so interesting that when people try to understand the world, so many people do it like this. People from all walks of life will try to be like, well, obviously, like, money flows in a direction and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But, like, I think, like, this one is a pretty high quality one. But, like, it's not fundamentally that different from shit like the Great Awakening map. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah. Wait, oh, what's the coolest looking one? This one's pretty cool. The Great Awakening map. You know, like this one's crazy. This one's for crazy people, but like, you know, Q, Inner Earth Civilizations, Antarctica, Ancient Aliens, the Galactic Foundation. There's several points on it where it talks about the ancient builder race. Like, but this is just like, you know, a slightly maybe more cracked out version of this, right? I've been reading Capital by Marx, and where is it? I don't know. But David Harvey does a study of it. He does a explanation of it where he builds one of those things to explain how Marx looks at the world. Reading Marx's Capital with David Harvey. Reading Marx's Capital. So you can see I've like watched all his shit here. But he usually puts it in the documents. Where is it? Not this one. This one. Like, again, this is it. This is the same thing. This is a way of understanding the world by following the money, looking at how things come across. So whether you're a Marxist or you're a slightly insane graphic designer from Thailand, forget the guy's name, or you're Domhoff, everybody uses the same type of flowchart. It's kind of cool.
That includes both the political parties, because it's the people in this network who are the fat cats who raise the big money for both political parties. And the ideas and appointees for both political parties come from...
Like, you know, speaking of Pizzagate, John Podesta and Tony Podesta are both lobbyists, right? But John Podesta is a political lobbyist, and Tony Podesta is a corporate lobbyist. And they're brothers, and they work together, and they have this connection. And they're like, they're part of this whole fucking power elite, you know? Like, it's interesting.
From this network. And if you don't believe me, just compare Nixon appointees with Carter appointees, or compare the Bush cabinet with the Clinton cabinet. The understanding of this diagram starts up there in what for you is the left-hand corner, where you see the corporate rich and the corporations. Then you see them and their money spreading out to foundations to the right. And to
I don't know if is that easy to see? Let me see if I can, maybe I can zoom in a bit. Yeah, it's not very high quality video, but here, I'll go back a bit.
Then you see them and their the left-hand corner, where you see the corporate rich and the corporations. Then you see them and their money spreading out to foundations to the right, and to think tanks and universities down below. You know, the foundations, that's like the Ford Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation. They give money to the think tanks that are right down below them, and to the policy discussion groups over to their right and near the center. Places, remember, like the Committee for Economic Development and the Council on Foreign Relations that I just mentioned. Meanwhile, of course, the university and think tank experts are pumping their ideas into the policy discussion groups and taking part in them, hoping one of the big boys will notice them and take them to Washington as advisors. This network produces PIP. It produces PIP for government. PIP stands for...
Just don't even describe it. Yeah, it produces PIP. I get it. It produces PIP.
It produces PIP. It produces PIP for government.
Okay.
PIP stands for policy, ideology, and plans. PIP is aimed to keep the corporate rich on top. It's the stuff that the White House and Congress chew on and argue about. And as you can see, this PIP now flows down to government in many ways, like through blue ribbon presidential commissions, through testimony to Congress, through articles in the Washington Post, and of course through appointments to government. Every policy we've studied fits this pattern. Now, sometimes the gang fights right on into Congress because there are...
Every policy we've studied fits this pattern. That's pretty cool. I got to get a copy of this shit for my wall.
Moderate conservatives and ultra-conservatives in this network. And that's why you would see somebody like the Secretary of Treasury from the past that I mentioned attacking somebody like George Bush, who's only a moderate kinds of conservative. And lo and behold, sometimes the whole gang, the whole power elite, loses to liberals or to labor or to environmentalists. But not very often. Well, there you have it. The Bohemian Grove, just as I warned you at the outset, is not at the dead center of the power structure. It's off to the side just a little bit. It's just a playground for the powerful. It's not a place of power. But it does help generate the social cohesion that makes policy cohesion possible. Well, thanks for joining me on this trip through the power elite in the Bohemian Grove. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a little bit along the way. And I want you to do me a favor. The next time you see an owl, I want you to remember the cremation of care ceremony. I want you to remember the power elite eating, drinking, and being merry at the Bohemian Grove. And then I want you to think about whether the words, the flowery words of the high priest, really mean something like the following. Oh, great owl of Bohemia, we thank our lucky stars that we are so rich and powerful. We revel in the challenges, honors, and pleasures that our wealth and connections bring to us. We greatly enjoy these opportunities to come to our own exclusive grove to remind ourselves of just how wonderful we are. We are grateful for the traditions and beliefs that keep most people from questioning the policies that so handsomely reward us. We love the theories that claim we are a natural elite who deserve everything we have. We love the theories that claim people who are poor must suffer their fate silently because they are supposedly less talented, or supposedly less able to postpone pleasure, or supposedly they didn't try hard enough. We are the men of Bohemia. We are the power elite at the Bohemian Grove.
Drink her down, drink her down.
Is that
Here's the good old beer, for it makes you feel so queer. Drink her down, drink her down, drink her down, down, down. Rolling home, dead drunk, rolling home, dead drunk, by the light of the silvery moon. Rolling, 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 rolling home, dead drunk. Here's a sparkling ale, cause it makes you feel so hale. Here's the good old wine, cause it makes you feel so fine. Here's the good vermouth, cause it makes you feel uncouth. Here's the booze, drink her down, down, down. Rolling home.
Yo. Was it produced by his son? I didn't even see. I guess I was just so...
rolling home.
Oh, wait.
Drink her down, drink her down. Here's the good old beer, for it makes you feel so queer. Drink her down.
Joel Domhoff, yeah, I guess. Yeah, must be. Cool. Oh yeah, great fucking song. Yeah, I don't know, like I fucking love that. I've been like reading this book. I read this book this past year, and it was probably one of my favorite books I've read, because like every fucking page it would go over something, I'd be like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Like it really did give me a framework, a new framework to see the world with. I do think so. Love this. Love the Power Elite database. I gotta make it so you guys can see. I love the Power Elite database idea. I wish it was more updated. I love this. I love his analysis of Bohemian Grove. I do think he's a little bit like, so he does talk about conspiracy theories. Where do I find it? Where's that? Hang on. Featured items. Oh, power structure research, I think is what he calls it. There's a page where he talks about conspiracy theories, but his general thing about conspiracies is, I think, like kind of like an overcorrection. He goes, there are no conspiracies. Like, no, there are none. Many people seem to believe that America is ruled from behind the scenes by a conspiratorial elite with secret desires, a small selective group that wants to change the government system or put the country under the control of a world government. Right, that's stupid. So many people are into that new world order, one world government sort of thing, and it's just like, No, man. That's not what it is. Alex Jones brings up NWO in his Bohemian Grove documentary. It's such a part of conspiracy culture. And it's so stupid. It's even a part of fucking Peter Thiel's whole thing, right? With the Antichrist, is that the Antichrist is going to create a one world government. No, that isn't a fucking thing. In the past, the conspirators were usually said to be secret communist sympathizers who were intent on bringing the United States under a common world government with the Soviet Union. But the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 undercut this theory. So most conspiratorial theorists changed their focus to the United Nations as the likely controlling force in a new world order, an idea which is undermined by the powerlessness of the United Nations and the unwillingness of even moderates within the American power structure to give it anything but a limited role. For a smaller group of conspiratorial thinkers, a secret group of operatives located within the CIA was responsible for many terrible tragedies and assassinations since the 1960s, including the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Well, I mean, I feel like that one is reasonable. Problems with conspiratorial view. There are several problems with the conspiratorial view that don't fit with what we know about power structures. Now, I don't need to read this entire thing. It's kind of long, but if you're curious, please check it out. This guy's website is so fucking good, and his books are great too. But I don't know. I do think that when we've got this social upper class, who is very cohesive, they hang out with each other, they marry each other, they raise their kids to be in this group. They sit on multiple boards of directors, whatever. They're a part of the corporate community, the PPN. All of these people have a certain goals in mind, right? And of course, sometimes people are going to do dishonest things to pursue those goals. Of course, that's the case. What would his analysis of somebody like Jeffrey Epstein be? Or, APAC, or I don't know, Peter Thiel, how would he reconcile that with the idea that there are no conspiracies. I mean, yes, conspiracy theorists are wrong about almost everything. No doubt. There is a problem with a conspiratorial, worldview where you just see conspiracies everywhere. That is a problem. That is a problem, like Joe Rogan said about Alex Jones. But, I just feel like it's an overcorrection, especially since so much of his stuff goes really on. Oh yeah, let's read this about the CFR. Oh, sorry, you were talking about that. The group, said by many conspiratorial thinkers to be at the center of the alleged conspiracy in the United States, the Council on Foreign Relations, is in fact a mere policy discussion forum. It has nearly 3,000 members, far too many for secret plans to be kept within the group. All the CFR does is sponsor discussion groups, debates, and speakers. As far as being secretive, it issues annual reports and allows access to its historical archives. Historical studies of the CFR show that it has a very different role in the overall power structure than what is claimed by conspiratorial theorists. See why and how the corporate rich and the CFR reshaped the global economy after World War II on this site, for just one example. Yeah, and I mean, he does say, the policy planning network here, it's he describes it as the political party for the elite, but this is the one, the policy planning circle, you don't even have to be rich to be in that group. They also hire experts. They have scientists and whatever, smart people who show up and just tell them what they want to hear, basically. They pay them to give them the right answer on how cigarettes don't hurt you or stuff like that. Really interesting shit. No, I haven't read that. The CIA and the Cult of Intelligence. That sounds familiar. CIA and the Cult of Intelligence. Let's see. Huh? Wait, what the heck? No, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, okay. I'm familiar with the cover. I definitely haven't read it. Looks cool, though. I would read this. Cool. Nonfiction political book written by Victor Marchetti, a former special assistant to the deputy director of the Central Intelligence Agency, and John D. Marks, a former officer of the United States Department of State. Cool. The expression cultivate intelligence to denounce what he viewed as a counterproductive mindset in the culture of secrecy, elitism, amorality, and lawlessness within and surrounding the CIA in the service of American imperialism. Oh, yeah, for sure. That reminds me of some shit I've read from Chomsky, where he goes into, like, you know, what people have actually said as part of the... Oh, really? Like, parts of it are redacted? That's funny. It is the first book the federal government of the United States ever went to court to censor before its publication. Whoa, they demanded the authors delete 339 passages, but they resisted. In the end, only 168 passages were deleted. Whoa, that is so fucking sick. Okay. It is the earliest published book to adopt this format. Oh, that's so funny. The publisher published the book with blanks for the deleted pages and with boldface type for items with the CIA initially wanted deleted. That is so cool. I love that. All right, I gotta get my hands on a copy of this. That's awesome. Still, even now, eh? Well, CIA will do that shit. And it's from the 70s. That's fucked. Yeah. I could go on about the CIA for quite some time. That is one of my special interests. But I won't. I will say instead, thank you all for watching. I had a good stream. I hope you guys did too. That Domhoff shit is cool, right? It's interesting. Like, I feel like his power structure theory really, a lot of shit falls into place for me. But thanks, gang. Thanks, Joshua Mowdy. Thanks, Finland. Thanks, Flash Motorworks. Thanks, MJF, Mark J, all the different J's, everybody watching, Steubens, whoever knows. But that's going to be it for me. I'm going to be it for now. Now is going to be it for... Oh, wait, actually, I do want to see one thing. Oh, my phone's going off. Where is it? See, I was just like stalling, so because I'm always like, oh fuck, how do I end a stream again? But no, I remembered there was something else I wanted to show you guys. Hang on. No. Well, no, I can't find it. There's a Bohemian Grove T-shirt I had one. I didn't have it, but I found it once on Etsy. I just wanted to show you guys. No. Let me see. Bohemian. I'll just search it. You guys can see what I'm doing. Bohemian Grove T-shirt that somebody had made. Dance at the Fireflies. Ritual exposed. It was kind of like a tour T-shirt, and on the back, like instead of like, it's like a band shirt, but on the back instead of tour dates, it had like a list of people that they thought were a part of it. This is annoying. I guess we're not gonna. This might be a lost cause. Well, whatever. I'll find it. I'll put it in my video about Bohemian Grove. But yeah, probably talk more about Bohemian Grove in the future. I mean, I'd like to watch the Alex Jones documentary too on stream, but it's fucking long as fuck. And you know me, I gotta interrupt constantly and give my take. But anyway, no, that really is going to be the end.